H-Town, what's up? You know what time it is. It's time for the best 120 minutes of your day. The Chop Shop, the nation's #1 urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatt alongside Jim Hicks and sometimes Chris Walker, coming to you live from Houston, Texas, but we're broadcasting all over the world via Facebook Live and YouTube Live. And guess what? It's Tuesday. And I can't wait to get the show started. Let me shout out to my starting five. Shout out to my starting five. Look at my nephew that popped up on the screen. But shout out to my starting five. Let me go. Let me get over there to y'all. Y'all got to understand my cursor. They switch this stuff on me every day. But we got Alex Sestero. And my starting five are the first 5 people that sign up. We got Alex Sestero. We got Mate Cora. We got Daryl Anderson, Trey Phillips, Derek Lane, my nephew, is in the building. That's his first time. That's the starting 5. And the 6th man of the day is Jeremy Davis. Let me see. Yeah, I see y'all in there. I'm looking. Share the show right now, everybody. And if you on YouTube, hit the thumbs up button, and you can share it on YouTube also. Just go and let's be, like I told y'all, let's start being intentional about the things we do. Hold on one second. Let me go to my YouTube. You know what? I'm not gonna ask y'all to do nothing that I wouldn't do myself. And I always go there. It's easy too. You just push share. Then you can push. You can push that. You can share it to your Facebook page. Well, you can do that anyway. You can share it there. Then you can go. You can share it to your Twitter. Hold up, y'all. I'm just in the sharing mood today. Let's see. What else I can do? Twitter, Snapchat. I don't even do all that. I'm sorry. I'm getting better on. I'm gonna try to do better on. I just ain't got time for all of that stuff, y'all. Snapchat and what you got to TikTok. I don't have none of that stuff yet. So let me see who else. Happy birthday, Thad Moody. Thad Moody on the air. Happy birthday to Thad Moody. Thank you. I was going to talk about, what's up, Jerry Jones? Jerry Jones, good to see you, man, again. Greg Morris. I see Bryant Kimball is in the building. Let me see. I see you, Tyrone. I see all y'all out there, man. Let's get this thing started. We're supposed to have a guest. He haven't sound checked with me, so I don't know how to sound. So we're supposed to have a guest, and we'll work that out soon. But let me talk to y'all a minute. Happy birthday again to Thaddeus Moody. So y'all, when you get on the air today, everybody make sure you tell him happy birthday. And you know what? I want to shout out to this. Shout out to Serena Williams, saying she might be the end She just, giving little soliloquies about what might be the end for her. This might be her last big tournament. This lady has won 7 Wimbledon singles championship, 7 time Australian singles champion, 6 time U.S. Open champion, 3 time French Open champion, 6 time Wimbledon doubles champion, 4 times Australian doubles champion, 2 times U.S. Open doubles champion, 2 times French Open doubles champion, 4 time Olympic gold medal. And she went 319 weeks as the world #1. That's that's a long time. That's a long time. Serena Williams, she is definitely one of the greatest of all times. So I don't know if I saw that. Greg, see, I beat you to it, Dale Griggs. But I saw some things. When I see things, I'm gonna share them with y'all. I saw some stuff. I saw the little guy, because we always talk negative about these guys when they do something. But I'm gonna tell you who I like now. I don't know not one of his songs. Y'all got to help me. I don't know not one of his songs, but I like Lil Baby now. Yes, I like Lil Baby now. I'm gonna show you why in a second. Darryl Barnes said he had a great time at the pro-am, but I like Lil Baby, y'all. He did some. I just found out this morning that his name is really Dominique Jones, Dominique Lil Baby Jones. But he did some to over the weekend that how I told y'all I give my guys, I give my young fellas they flowers. Share the show right away. But let me show you what this kid did. Watch this. I lowered the volume because he's playing one of his songs and I didn't want copyright. Get your money, bro. I don't want. But the whole West End yesterday, Lil Baby bought out the whole West End Mall. Free food, free clothes. People always talking about they doing something. Free clothes, supplies for the kids going back to shit. The kids got everything. They can walk in the Foot Locker and get whatever they want out of their joint. Kids lined up, man. We always talk about what these kids do negative. This guy came and was a part of the community. Now he had his security with him, because let me tell you something. Don't go back to your hood without security. Okay? Don't do that. Have your people around you, man. Because some people get jealous, man. Most of those people that love him, but we got some people, we got perfect examples. Nipsey Hussle and my young Dolph in Memphis. So believe you me, have your people around you, but still be able to come back. I'm so proud. And like I said, the music is down because they was playing some of his music, but this young man he didn't have to do this. Came back to the West End in Atlanta, and look what happened. It's orderly. It looks great. You ain't saw a whole lot of crazy stuff about it, because this ain't gonna hit the airwaves. So guess what? We have to let people know what our young men are doing. They want to talk about him. He doing this, but let me tell you something. That young man came back and gave to his community. And I love him for it. Shout out to Lil Baby. What's up, Jimmy? Shout out to Lil Baby. Man, thank you so much, man, for doing what you're doing, man. I appreciate that. Boy, I really, really appreciate that. But shout out to Lil Baby. See that? I told y'all, that wasn't on the national news, was it? They ain't gonna show you that. So it's our job to make sure you know that. That don't make it to CNN. That don't make it to the Fox. Fox ain't gonna put that on there. But that's what, buying out the whole mall. You're right, buying out the whole mall for them kids. So guess what? I hope somebody else is able to follow this example. Do it. If you're in a position like Lil Baby, do this. So what's up, Jimmy? What you got going on, man?
Oh man, shoot, there's a lot of good stuff going on, man. Around and don't that's always great things. Back to school time, it's giving away to the kiddos in various fashions, and it just remind me because you really look around. It ain't no reason in the world why a kid should go to enter the first day of school without supplies in today's society. There are more back to school giveaways on various cities, on every corner, just on various days leading up in the month of August. I mean, if you're trying to do for self, then the opportunity is out there for whatever the means for you not to travel far to get them, and that's for certain. I'm telling you, a lot of churches, a lot of faith-based organizations, a lot
Churches
of
do it every
nonprofits.
day, Jimmy. The churches do it every week.
So as I
Yeah,
said, it ain't no reason
yeah,
why if you're really trying to do for self and help your babies out. I hear people, oh man, we can get some. I saw somebody on the neighborhood app, asking for some assistance. I'm like, well, here go a flyer for one back to school supplies drive that I know of, and I'm quite sure there's a couple others. Jay Prince, they have a huge one coming up uh, at the Jay Prince complex. What he does every year. I
yeah,
mean, they already got that thing. I mean, that thing, they have cases
yeah.
stacked up halfway to the ceiling of stuff, and they have a great drive-through infrastructure or assembly line, so to speak, that they supply you with that stuff. There's others you don't even have to get out your cars. That means you might have to spend an extra couple of dollars on some gasoline and blow it, but you get to sit in that good cold AC
Yeah.
as opposed to in that heat. Different parts of the
But
country,
but
that
but the only
heat.
reason I didn't mention, I guess that's your take, but I didn't mention what Lil Baby was doing to down the people who just, I did that. I wanted to make an example of other guys in his position. They go all over the country and doing more things like this. I can't worry about it. People don't. They ain't coming to the mall. They ain't coming to get it. I ain't got. That's me. I knew that. That's what you. I didn't focus on that. I'm focused on the people that can, if it's there, and make it available for the people. And those are things I highlight. What this guy's doing instead of the shortcomings of people who, like you say, ain't nobody got no excuse. We don't know what's going on in people's households, so I don't know. But thank you, Lil Baby, to Lil James, and to the people that do things like that. Man, just you inspire others to do the same thing. You inspire. So
And,
guess what?
and,
That's just me.
and I just thought about it in the city of Houston. They do a humongous one
Yeah,
at the convention center.
yeah, with Mel Turner. Yes, yes.
I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm saying. I'm talking about the mere essential school supplies. All of the other stuff is icing
But
on
Jimmy, that's
cakes.
the city of
Yeah.
Houston doing it. We got a kid that come out of this community, came out of that community, and said, "Okay, I'm finna come back in my community and give." I mean, ain't not the city of Houston. Thank you, city of Houston. But we got to highlight the young men that are coming back and giving. So we got to highlight it, Jimmy, so it can inspire others to do it. So I'm trying to inspire others to do it. All you got, Jimmy, you can bring fill the well up, and then the people will come and drink from it. That's thank you, Lil Baby, again. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, man. Nothing compared. The city of Houston is nothing compared to you. You went back and touched your people in your community. It's unbelievable to me. Jay Prince go back and touch his people in the community. Those things there are big to me. The city of Houston, thank you, city of Houston. Okay.
Well, I
Thank
mean,
you.
he's from this city
He
as
ain't
well.
the city of Houston. He's just the mayor.
Yeah,
He's just the
But I'm
mayor.
saying, but he's from the
Yeah, but
city.
he's the mayor.
So,
You said the city of Houston. You didn't say the mayor.
well, I'm saying that's his position in right now.
Yeah.
His position is mayor of the city, but he's from here. Just like I know that Joe Stevens gives out and back to school in his community.
Yeah.
Judge Joe Stevens. I mean, but his role and his position, judge at this time. But it's my thing is that everywhere you look, if you need school supplies, you can go and get them. And if you're in most cities, that's my main element of that. So that means if you know somebody that needs school supplies, you can help assist them to go and get them in most cities. And so that's one of the things that at one of the topics that we hit on. Plenty of them today. As right now live, out on television is uh, the the championship game to go to the Little League World Series. And every other year, there's a team from Texas, but this time it happens to be Pearland, Texas. And Pearland is jumping out. They won. They played the other day, Adam, in their qualifier game. They won like 21-0. I mean, they've been lighting folk up. This little team's out of Pearland, Texas. That's a suburb of Houston. They're playing right now on ESPN live versus the Oklahoma team who beat the team yesterday from Abilene, another team from Texas. It could have been an all-Texas showdown. But this little team from Pearland, I'm talking about, man, they come out, they be on top of that ball like you wouldn't believe. Once again, first inning, and they are up 3-0. The kid just hit a home run as I'm speaking to you right now, and right on cue, a dinger. And they're fun to watch, man. I'm telling you, fun to watch, man. And remember, Pearland has been to the World Series. Those are 11 and 12-year-olds. Like 3 out of the past 8 years or something like that. So they get that they're playing some good baseball out in Pearland, Texas. And the top half of the first inning just completed, and Texas holds a 3-0 lead over Oklahoma. They got a lot of stuff in the news today. We talk about. We're expecting a special guest. We're expecting to join us, and we, as promised, we're college coaches, and we'll see how that goes. And that'll be a great treat for you guys on this Tuesday. We want to ask you to share the show as we just did a while ago. If you haven't done so, this is a great time to share the show. I'm going to share with you guys myself right now. I'm shooting one out there.
Mm-hmm. Man, I just shared it on my. I've been sharing it on my what YouTube and everything. They got me. They just showed me how to do all of that. I can share it on my YouTube. Share it to my the Twitter. Then I mean I don't mess with what's the Snapchat and TikTok, so I can't share it to them. So, but I hadn't got that advanced yet. Gary Carter, come set my but no, it's funny. I'm getting a text. Ooh, I got to turn that off. I turned the things wrong. I'm getting a text from the guest. But Jimmy, I saw some interesting stuff, man. A lot of stuff, and I know the guest coming on, but this Dame Lillard is really, really I'm liking him more and more and more. He gave me some, Jimmy, and I want to share this with people before Jay Lucas get on there. And I want y'all, this is gonna be a shareable moment. He told y'all to share the show, but y'all need to hear this one because it seemed like Damian Lillard been watching the Chop Shop, and he just finished his camp this weekend called Formula Zero. There are a couple of our guys, Keontae George and Marcus Sasser. These guys was out at this camp, had 20 college students, 20 college players, and 20 high school players. Not that all of them top ranked, some of them underrated like he was, and brought to this. He said it's not a camp, it's like a community. But this, what he talked about. Check this out.
Kissing their ass and, putting them in a position where they feel entitled and, they want to them and wanting this and kissing their ass and, putting them in a position where they feel entitled and, their mentality is messed up about what it's going to be and having to earn stuff and having to work and, taking criticism and listening and being coachable and stuff like that. It puts them in a position to where those things, it lets them down when they get in a professional environment and their talent can't get them through. You got to be stable and strong mentally. You got to be sturdy. You got to have something that you can stand on because it gets tough for all of us, not just young players, even the best players. So I want to help these kids that, you know, a lot of them, you look, they ranked and they got all these followers on Instagram, but like I want to help them have the stuff that um, is not just a talent, you know, it's not given to them. You know, I'm not the most talented. I'm 6'2". I don't jump out the gym. You know what I mean? It's more talented, it's more gifted players out there, but you know, it would be hard for y'all to find somebody that's sharper and more disciplined than me mentally, and somebody that's tougher and, you know, sharper and better and more compassionate than me in their heart. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's stuff that has been put into me for my whole life that, you know, people encourage. That's all a part of this camp that makes me different than a lot of my peers, in my opinion. So I feel like if I can share that, not just from me, but from the people that have actually done it for a lot of kids, not just me. I just happen to be the ultimate example, but these same people, you know, have done this with so many other kids that just went on to be good people, you know, and have good jobs and have a good life because they have those same, you know, values and those same principles. So, like, if I can get all those people and myself to pass that along to these kids now while they, you know, 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade, starting college, and that give them a better chance going forward, then, you know, why not do it?
Man, that blows me away because that's the kid thinks just how I think, and let me tell y'all, he is represented by two brothers, Aaron Goodwin and his brother. I forgot his brother name, but his whole career, two black strong men his whole career. It's no coincidence that he's coming back and putting this back in his community. These guys who represent him is from the same community he's from. They represented Gary Payton. And I'm sitting there watching that video, and I was just thinking about all these people, because I keep telling y'all, quit kissing these little boys' behinds. Kevin Garnett said, y'all entitled, and everybody jumped up on it. Man, Kevin Garnett talking about we entitled. You know, even Jimmy, they had an instance in the camp. One guy at the last minute pulled out of the camp, and his mom sent a message saying he got shin splints. But then he show up that same day, he over there on Instagram dunking. On Instagram, on IG dunking. And it's just, it's Jimmy, and them the kind of, and somebody asked the question, what do I think was the common denominator? I don't know. I don't know what's in the side of, but all of those, Keontae Joe, all of these guys were handpicked from what I heard from Damian Lillard. He done watched, or his people done watched them in their career. And Jimmy, did you notice? Ain't nothing attached to Adidas. This is Damian Lillard's Formula Zero. It had nothing about Adidas. It didn't say nothing about Adidas. But our guest done popped in, Jimmy. But I mean, shout out to that dude, man. All the people who were who are part of the camp, David Vanderpool, all of these guys, those guys helped Dame Lillard throughout his career. And he brought them back to give back to those guys. So all of you summer coaches, all of you guys that make sure you put some in these guys, so when they're in a position of power, they want to come back and glean from you and bring you in to a special event like Damian Lillard did this weekend. But shout out to Dame Lillard. But our guesting came on, and I ain't had him. I don't want to wait no further, Jimmy. I see him in the background, Jimmy. They putting his makeup on, Jimmy. I want you to introduce this guest, because I've been knowing this guest since he was knee high to a duck. So now he's a grown man, and it's just unbelievable that he's gonna be on the show, Jimmy. You got the pleasure of introducing this great guest.
Oh man, without a doubt, we as we promised you guys on Tuesday, we give you a college coach, a different one, to come in and chop it up with us on the Chop Shop, share their thoughts about the sport, about hot topics in basketball and recruiting and whatnot. And you get the chance, a very rare opportunity, to dialogue with and in real time with those coaches. So today we're going to reach over and get a young man who's very rare as he has coached in the Big 12,
Uh-huh.
in the SEC,
Mm-hmm.
and now he enters his first season in the ACC. Soft spoken, but well mannered and thought and highly calculating. And this young man is a former McDonald's All American
Mm-hmm.
from the class of 2007.
Mm-hmm. Bel Air
Jordan,
Cardinal.
oh yeah, Bel Air High School, absolutely.
Yeah.
Jordan Brand Classic.
Uh-huh.
Also, this young man was uh, he played at Florida, then at University of Texas. I mentioned
Right.
his coaching career,
That's
and
right.
on the summer scene with the
Houston.
finished up his upper years with the Houston Hoops. And we have with us a guy who's been there, done that. Not to mention, he's what they would call, he's comes from basketball royalty.
Absolutely.
Arguably one of the most powerful families in in basketball in the United States of America,
Right.
especially in the amateur basketball circuit. But it's not restricted there,
No, sir.
and that is the Lucas family. So we have the baby of the bunch, Jay Lucas, live with us on the Chop Shop. There you go, right there.
That's a young fella.
What's going on?
Hold up,
What's
man.
up, brother?
Hold up, man. I had something for you before we go anywhere. Hold up, man. Where my sounds at? Hold up. I got to give you something. Hold up, this for you. Yeah, they knocked my sounds off, man. I got to give my boy something. Hold on, one more thing for you. This for you too. Hold up. Got one more thing for you. But welcome to the show, man. What's happening?
I appreciate it. Nothing much. What's going on?
Going down, man. Hey, Duke University. There are different elements to you going to Duke.
Yeah.
From Kentucky.
Yeah.
Oh.
And a lot of people don't realize, when sometimes when you're making decisions like this, the big blue nation, they didn't just want you to leave. They didn't say get him the hell away from there. They was like, hold on, man, what the hell y'all doing? They already of any of the schools you could have left and went to. Why Duke?
For me, it was deeper than just taking a job at Duke or anything like that. I think and had to know, but my family's ties to Durham in general, and the state of North Carolina and the city, that was something that played a big part into it, and a big role into it, and also gave me the opportunity to stay at what I would consider a basketball school and what people call like a blue blood. So I didn't think, level wise, it was, I would say a lateral move just to be, politically correct.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a big part of it was just my family's roots in Durham added on to it. And then the opportunity to work with somebody I see as the next generation of coach, with where everything is going in basketball, with the people that are retiring and going out in college basketball, the opportunity to be at basically the new era of Duke was something I think was hard to pass up.
Interesting.
Yeah, and so now that's not so that. How was it leaving there? How do you go and tell your boss? Of course, you get permission normally, because a lot of people don't really know how it works. When you get
Right.
An opportunity to leave, do you go and let your current boss at the time know, hey, look, I got this interview or I got an option, or do you just don't say nothing and wait till you get to a certain point? And then how does that normally work?
I mean, it just depends where you are. It's a bunch of different, ways to go about it. This one was a little bit tricky because you're at Kentucky. You're not at a place people leave, and people, take other opportunities unless it's a head coaching position. So this one was a little bit tricky. And then, I've known Cal, and him and my dad have been friends for years. This is somebody we've gone to fantasy camp with. This is family.
Right.
So that made it even tougher, but that also made it easy in the sense of he understood when I explained to him why I wanted to do it, why I was doing it, and why I thought it was the best situation for me. And, he gave me his blessing. You know what I mean? It was no ill will or anything like that. He understood, and he said, Jay, ultimately you got to do what you feel is best for you and your career and where you're trying to go. And it was, I was a little more nervous and worried. than it actually turned out to be.
So you uniquely say, I like where you said that. And the reason I'm saying this because I'm watching Cal and how he talk about those top players he's had, and he want those players to move on and do things for their family, make the great decisions for their family. So he consistent.
Yep.
So he consistent with his coaches. If you see an opportunity that you can make it better for your family, then by so be it. Go. So I mean, I'm just glad he's just consistent with that. I can't hold my coaches if I'm telling the players to go do the same thing. So I mean, that was it. So in this case, you did go to him first because he's kind of family. Because he's family.
Yeah. I went to him with everything, and when I went to him, I went to him telling him I was going to do it. I didn't want to be in a situation where, a lot of times people use it as like a bidding war or something like that, and it was nothing like that for me. That's not how I wanted to go down. This is something I thought would be best for me. So when I went with him with it, I kind of told him, I made my mind up. This is what I decided to do, and this is why I'm doing it, and how much I appreciated him and everything he had done for me, in the short time I was there. And he had kind of, that job at Kentucky puts you in situations to be able to do stuff like this. It wasn't my plan or goal to, go to a different, my plan or goal was to be a head coach. But, I saw this as, upward trajectory and a swing that could help me get there. When you kind of look at it, at least how I was looking at it from the outside, like what more do you have to do after you've done some of these things?
You answered my question for me because I was going to talk about head coach time next. So, but you know what's so unique? And I wanted to ask this question on air. You've been at all these top universities, right? What do you do with all the gear you had from Texas, all the gear you had from Duke, and all this? What do y'all do, you coaches? What do y'all do with that stuff?
Well, it's a little bit different because the Texas part with me playing there and being a alumni, I kept some of that gear. I gave a bunch of it away, but usually I just give it to the managers and give it to people like a neighbor or something like that.
Okay.
And do things like that. So my Kentucky gear went to managers, GAs, some neighbors, people you just encounter while you're there. But my one thing is I do keep like a pair of shorts at least from every school I've been at.
Okay.
But I do have the most Texas gear, and that's just because of my.
Somebody told me
I wear it on Saturdays when the football team play.
I like that, Jimmy.
Yeah, speaking of gear, I mean, back in the day, little bitty things a lot of people noticed. They were gear. Certain schools, back in the days when you were coming out of high school and went to college, you had to have made it to the Final Four to get what they call elite status, and your product get like a boost. You get better product than the regular colleges. Is that stuff still in place?
Yeah, it's still in place. There's they added, I guess, like an extra tier now, which is called Championship Elite. And that's for the people who have won national championship. So you see it like on the back of the jerseys and on the ones, like the people who have gold tags. So the Nike schools that have like the gold label on the back of the jerseys or the gold tag on like their travel gear, polo, stuff like that. They're Championship Elite. So they're in a different tier. So, you have people like, locally Baylor, since they just won national championship, they're champion. Kentucky, Oregon's won because it's the Nike flagship. So you have about 8 schools that are Championship Elite.
Good question, Jim.
Hey, just tuning in. Jay Lucas live with us right now, assistant men's basketball coach at Duke University. And he's live with you. Yes, it's not a tape. This is a live show. And shortly he'll be able to address some of your questions. Meanwhile, you can start thinking them up and cue them up. Don't put them on yet. We rapping with him right now. We chopping it up. Take a blast to the past, Jay. Right. You came out in '87. And last night, it was funny because, I say 87, 2007. 2007.
Damn. Yeah.
Y'all felt like that old. Hey, Jimmy, hold on. Jimmy, we got a special guest in the building. I just want to know. So if you say something crazy.
T-Tar.
Yeah, you say something crazy, you better be careful, but keep going.
Yeah,
Tavia
that's the
now.
person
Shout out
that
to
runs.
Tavia.
That's the person that runs the Lucas family right
I
there.
believe you
My
me. We
dad may
know.
do all the barking and the talking, but if anything go down Lucas' household,
We
she's the
already
one.
know.
That's the one.
So if you get blackballed, Tavia did it.
Yeah, she did everything.
Hey, hey,
She the godfather.
let me tell you something. When I know, I'm gonna show you how I know when your dad's gonna be on the show. I don't talk to him. Tavia
There
come
you
on and
go.
do the sound check. It makes sure everything right. So all he got to do is walk in there, and I'm so glad Thank you, Tavia, so much for being you. So yes, we gave her her shot. Now let's get back to
Yeah,
Jay.
yeah. And so back to 2007, that graduating class, going into it, I remember, man, um, your brother John, he come out 2001.
Right.
So it's kind of like a
Hmm.
perfect spread of a 6 year gap.
Yeah.
I started in this business as in 2001. So as you got to come up, you were one of the littlest guards in every class you were in. Everybody little in middle school, but you was little when he got to high school. I remember that wasn't a shirt at Bel Air, a jersey at Bel Air High School that was small enough for you. The smallest jersey draped over your shoulders and draped on you. And then you got to the McDonald's game, that one draped over you. Did you like this jersey that big on purpose?
Not on purpose, but that was kind of the style back then. You know, the smaller numbers were, I guess the smaller jerseys, and I wore 15, which is, I guess, a higher number. So
Right.
that was always like an XL.
But that's your dad's number,
And it
right?
wasn't until my senior year. Exactly, that's my dad's, my brother's number. It's like the family
Right.
number. It wasn't until my senior year Coach Glover finally figured that out and got me a jersey that fit.
And also I was looking like back in those days, of course, you were without the pressures and the influences of some of social media.
Mhm.
Basketball was a lot pure. This city, of course, I mentioned that 2001 class, they kind of set the tone for the attention to come towards the great state of Texas. And of course, Dallas keyed in with 2002 with the Chris Bosh class and all that right there. And Ike Diallo and all those guys. But your 2007 class was right after the Nick Wise class because Nick Wise too was a shorty on the court and was a guy that was recognized all over the country. But then it seemed like even after John, people didn't realize he led the entire city in scoring. Might have been the state in
Yep.
scoring, but people
Yeah,
didn't
he
realize.
did.
Then they said you shot too much. You beat the ball. I remember going all the way back. I'm thinking I was sitting in the Fundy Recreation Center, and we'll talk about that in a minute. And I'm thinking about your career, and I remember how everything people said, well, he shoot too much, and then you know what he did, Howard?
Well,
After they said he shot too much, that was the jacket on Jay's back.
uh-huh.
Then he went out and averaged 9 assists a game
Uh. Uh.
in his 11th grade year. He
Okay.
averaged 9 assists a game.
Hmm.
Then they said he couldn't win. You couldn't win with him. He goes and you guys get the Peach Jam. You remember some of those stories? And tell us about what you remember about that grassroots season. We'll get back to Bel Air in a minute. You guys were playing. Who's on your summer team with the Houston Hoops?
My junior year, like you were saying, it was me, Gary Johnson, Mike Singletary, Deuce Nichols, who dad was the coach at Marshall,
Yeah.
DeAndre Wise, Tommy Mason Griffin, Isaiah Rusher. Um, I think that's about it. We back then you only had like 8 people on the team.
Hold up. I see
It
why
wasn't
you
like
average
12
nine
people on the
assists.
team back then.
I see.
No, I didn't average 9 assists at AAU.
Oh.
In high
In
school.
Oh,
high
in high
school.
school. Oh,
In
high
high
school.
school.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, and how many guys from
And
out
then
of town
Greg
were
Wise
on your
was our
team?
coach.
Who was?
Greg
Who was the
Wise.
coach?
He was our coach.
Greg Wise was the
Greg
coach.
Wise.
The
Yep.
summer coach?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Greg Wise was our summer coach.
Wow.
How many guys from out of town? We didn't have any. My sophomore year when I played with the Hoops, I played up. We had Damian James, but that's like,
Yeah,
Nacogdoches.
that's
We didn't have
Right.
that's the
anybody.
gray area right
We
there.
didn't have anybody from out of state.
Right.
And
We
and
didn't
you
have
see
anybody out
now,
of state, out
so
of the city.
the Houston Hoops was indeed the Houston Hoops back then. And
Mm-hmm.
most teams and don't get it twisted, it kind of started around that time. I think around that time, the Houston Superstars with Adidas program, and around that time they start to reach out and get guys from Mississippi and Louisiana at that time. But that was enough talent, and
Right.
that was definitely enough talent in the city. And you're looking back on that, what motivated you when you hearing all of these that you was too short, you couldn't shoot it good enough, you wouldn't never pass the ball, you wouldn't do this, it wouldn't transfer over to the collegiate level. What
Can I give
kept
you one? Can
you?
I add one more?
Add one more.
John Lucas, your daddy. Because I know you used to hear that, but keep going. What motivated you?
I think just you're motivated by the competition, and kind of like what you're saying when people are saying those things of like, you can't do this, you only getting this because you're that. But when Hatter, you was there,
Yeah.
I was 16, putting 12-hour days in the gym.
I used to feel
So it
sorry
wasn't a
for him.
sense of like, it wasn't a sense of like, I knew people weren't doing what I was doing. So the confidence of, being in the gym,
Right.
who you going against in the gym, and having to compete. Back then it wasn't like you were, everybody in the city worked out at one place. So it wasn't like, it was, the gym was loaded. So even
Yeah.
if we weren't on the AAU teams or we didn't play together, like people like BJ Holmes, he was in the gym with us.
Yeah.
Devin,
Yeah.
that went to Cy Falls, he
Yeah.
was in the gym with us. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it was loaded. Tommy, Tiny,
Yeah. Yeah.
everybody who was in the city, we were in one place. So it was different times back then. It wasn't as territorial, how it is everywhere. Just not in Houston, but you see this everywhere now. People are afraid to work out with each other, and
Why,
then they're
Jay?
afraid to play each other. And
Why?
that wasn't the case
Why? Because of the rankings?
because of social media.
Oh, social
I
media.
think because of social media,
Mm-hmm.
because of the rankings,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of things that used to be sacred in the gym. If you got busted
Yep.
in the gym, it
Right.
stayed in the
Stayed
gym.
in the gym. Right.
And it was just, all right, I'll be back tomorrow, and I get it. But now it's someone with a camera in the gym. So
Good point.
some things you don't wanna that are sacred to the game, and so stay in the gym aren't staying in the gym anymore. And I think that's what's kind of changed it a lot too.
That's the first time I've ever heard it explained that way, Jimmy. I thank you, Jay. That's the first time I ever even thought about it that way. And because it is so territorial, and right, even in Memphis, all over the world, you'd have been all over the world.
Yep.
It's just not. See, people always want to bash Houston. It's just not Houston, y'all. It's all over the country.
Right.
And a coach
Right.
got Jay telling y'all that. Are you echoing what we've been saying on the show for years? But Jimmy, what else you
Yeah,
got for
I'm
me?
sure it's different now. So,
Uh-huh.
like, for
Mm-hmm.
instance, Chi used to put on the tournament to start the year. Like the first game of the year, Chi, I don't remember. It used to be at
Season
TSU.
opener.
I don't remember what it used to. Yeah, the season opener.
Yeah.
Every year we played against Hastings because me and BJ were seen as the top two guards in the city. And I think a lot of times now you can't do that anymore because somebody's going to say no. Back then it was like, yeah, that's the games you want to play.
See, now,
You want to. I don't
thank
think it's
you.
the same.
Jay, you explain, because I was wondering what Jimmy, I thought Jimmy was being messy, but he had a history of doing that. So, but these guys, man, I ain't let my guy, what these guys said, I don't want to mess up my brand.
What
You
is
ain't
going to
got no
benefit
damn
me,
brand.
or what is going to benefit me for playing him? But then when you're trying to come up, you're trying to go and play against that one guy that's ranked ahead of you, that has a little bit more status, maybe by an opinion of somebody than you. You want a piece of him. What if he felt the same way? And that's what I try to tell a lot of these new boots out there. Why? Why are we going to play them? Let me tell you what I told people all the time. Looking back on that year, that class, 2007, BJ Holmes, his status rose because of that was a Jay Lucas to measure himself off of in the scholastic season. Jay Lucas's status didn't rise because of BJ Holmes, and that's not a disrespect.
No.
But Jay Lucas played, and Bel Air embraced the opportunity to play Hastings, who was coached at the time by Johnny Hawk Carter. And Hastings, BJ Holmes wasn't the only Division I prospect at Hastings, just like Jay Lucas wasn't the only Division I player at Bel Air.
But Jimmy,
Let's get that straight.
Jimmy, Jay didn't have no choice but to play. For his family he come from, he got to go get it. You know, some guys of his stature might say, man, you going to play. See, but a lot of dads and a lot of people in people's influence ain't like that, man. No, Jay, you got something to lose. Don't go over there and play that guy. But John said, go over there and bust his little ass and go over there and bust his. I mean, his dad is telling him, hey, if he gets you today, we're going to go back and get him tomorrow like you do in the gym. So, but Jimmy, every parent ain't like that no more. What you think about that, Jay?
You're exactly right, and I think a little bit of it is just the state of basketball right now, and where the game is gone, and everybody thinks they're so close to getting to the money. You know, back then we weren't like that was the last thing that was on our mind. You know, it was more so about going to college and trying to win. It wasn't more so, oh, well, we got to protect it because, you know, this may watch out how we're viewed and it may mess up. You know, they're already thinking about draft stock as juniors in high school. And it's 2 years. You don't know what's going to happen.
But the business has changed because there's people telling these guys, man, every time you go out there, it's a business. It's a business. Every time you go, I've been hearing people, it's business. I mean, when you're the top guy, when you're a top guy. So some of these parents, but Jay.
But I mean, not to be disrespectful or anything, but think about it in this way, even in Houston, the top guy in Houston right now, you know, if you think about his business, I don't even know who the top guy in Houston is right now, whoever y'all consider the top guy in Houston. Okay.
I can't talk about him. I'm sorry. NCAA, that was my fault. NCAA.
I didn't say the name.
I know you didn't say it. I said it. My bad. Come on with it.
But let's say that person is the person. All right. I don't think they're a top 10 player in the country, if I'm not wrong. I don't know. Looking at the rankings or whatever, I don't think so. No. Like, you have a rare breed. You have a handful, I would say 5, that really have a brand of 5 in the whole country that really have a brand that they could mess up.
Gotcha.
And their brand really can't be messed up. By basketball, you know, be messed up by something else. But you have 5 people where you would say, okay, they have something where you could project them and see where it is. And I would even say in this class, you have 2 in the whole country.
Right, that's a good point.
That could do that. You know, so I think the people understanding of what the brand is and what they think this brand is, and even, you know, we can get into it, but the NIL stuff too. You know, that type is just, it's not what it's made up to be.
Okay. I like that.
It's definitely not what it's made up to be. And of course, Jay Lucas, man, spitting nuggets. And I'm still back there because that was a hell of a time. And
Do your thing.
And you know, and like I said, I mentioned earlier, guys, that to be taken out of context. There's no disrespect or no dissing at a kid like BJ Holmes whatsoever. Those times were great. It was pure. And we had a lot of talent. And you had, during those days, you had it. That was by it being only 2, technically, 3 by that time, sneaker sponsored programs, because around that time, Houston Select had ended up getting them a friendly deal. And you know how that's, you know, but we knew it was on the backs of certain things, which, you know, that's a whole nother combo. But Jay Lucas, BJ Holmes rivalry one of the things that made it sweet was you both were short compared to the country.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was like,
Jimmy, could you just say sub 6 feet guards
well, I mean,
instead of talking about short?
they can
Sub
put
6
sugar
feet.
on it all. That's
Yeah,
still a
sub
word in the
6 feet.
dictionary.
Come on.
They wasn't tall. But
Okay, come on. My
and,
bad.
and and like I mentioned, he wasn't the only top player on his team. It's like you had more prospects on your team at Bel Air. You had Isaiah Russell,
Mm-hmm.
who ended up signing with New
Yep.
Mexico. Chris Walker walked him into the door. Okay, BJ had Larry Davis, who went to Cincinnati and started. People forget about
Yep.
Larry Davis. He was a problem.
Mm-hmm.
A kid like Larry Davis played right now. A kid like BJ Holmes played right now. A kid like Jay Lucas in a high school version. If you played right now, what would you be doing against some of the prospects that you go out and evaluate every day?
I think the thing that changed a bunch is the social media. We didn't have like Ball is Life mixtapes. If we would have had that stuff, some of these guys who aren't even, in high school and stuff, they still have this allure to them because of those mixtapes and stuff that has been there.
Okay.
We didn't have that. So, I think that's a big part of it too, is like the guys we played against and the guys we ranked against, like we didn't see them until we saw them in person. So a guy like Isaiah Thomas, like we didn't see him till we played in Arizona and went out west. So people, we didn't see Derrick Rose until we got the Nationals and you made it to the Final Four and you ran into Derrick Rose and you're like, okay, all right. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you heard about these people and you knew about them because of the rankings and stuff, but there were no highlights. There wasn't anything. So you had to like run into them to really see like how good they are. You had to do that. And it's different now. It's just different now. You get smidgets of a game and it make people look like they are all world. So you have to be able to go out and evaluate as a college coach and really have to go see these people. Because if you don't, it's like any job, your livelihood's on the line. So you got to make sure you're doing what you're supposed to do.
No, but you didn't really answer that question the way I think Jimmy wanted to. You would if you went up against these little old guys you've been seeing around here thinking they all that, you would have, Jimmy, I think you would have tore a new one in
I just
him.
wanted the truth. I'm curious to know because sometimes
You would have tore a new one in him. I answered for him. Because he got so much class and grace.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I would have.
I mean, I'm just
we
knowing
were
like
just
the
different.
mind going on.
What'd you say, Jay?
I think we were just different. And then even if you go back then, like people growing up watching my brother play, like TJ Ford, like it ain't nobody in it. Nobody, you know what I mean? The TJ Ford, Carlos Hurt.
He was different.
Like you start bringing up names like that, like
right.
It's not even close. And now I sound like the old people. I get mad.
Yeah, you sound like the old people now.
About, the LeBron and the Jordan and stuff like that. Now I sound like one of them. But it's just you know it when you see it. And the closest thing before De'Aaron Fox, he will be one of those who fit in that category too.
Right.
When you saw him, you were like, yeah.
And of course, guys, I see some posts on there about the class of 2007 in the greater Houston area. I just throw you through a couple of those names from that class in addition to the BJ Holmes and the Jay Lucas. I'm just going to take you guys, some of these names you might have heard, and some of them it may refresh your memory. Of course, Gary Johnson, DeAndre Jordan was in that class locally. Jimmy Butler was the long lost, forgotten one in that class.
Wow.
People forget him. Yes, Jimmy Butler was in that class. Shannon Shorter. Saw him last night. That's what I'm saying. Made me think about the 2007 class because Shannon Shorter was
cold in high school.
Shannon was cold. Shannon was cold in high school, and then he got better as he got older.
Yeah,
he got better as he got older. But Shannon was cold in high school.
Yeah, Jim, I'm sorry.
And he wasn't the only guy in the pro-am last night that was from that class. Justin Reynolds Cam Reynolds' older brother from Pearland High School. He's still active and in good basketball shape. He was in the No Excuses Pro League last night and by the way, that their team won and they will be in the finals Thursday, 7 p.m. at Fundy Recreation Center. It's going to be, I think, a best of 3 for the championship. Team Sims and Houston Flight will be playing in the championship.
Oh, so you went again last night, Jim?
Yeah, you said come down there. You said after the show, you threw me a Mickey. You tricked me and say, come on down there, let's go.
I ain't think you was going to come. I ain't think you was going to come.
Yeah, we're going to go to my spot and you ain't.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, my bad. My bad. Man, I went hit that. Hey, Jay, have you learned how to play golf yet?
Yeah, I have. I had got heavy into it when I first got into coaching. You know, you get into the job, it kind of died down.
Okay.
But I got into it.
Okay. Well, that's why I went to hit that ball a little bit yesterday, Jim. I'm sorry. But
now speaking of one of the things when we leave this class of 2007, history, as I'm sitting there last night, because I'm thinking about Jay Lucas, I'm watching Shannon Shorter, and I'm watching wait a minute, you got a hole in one.
Yeah.
Hey, what? We're not talking about no damn putt. That don't count.
Hey, man. Jay, where you had a hole in one there, Jay? Where?
It's going to sound crazy. I had it at the Duke golf course. And this was when we were playing. I was coaching at Texas. We played North Carolina. We stayed there. It was one of those night games. So me and the equipment manager snuck out during the day after the shoot-around and played like the front 9. And so then on the third hole, it was like 136, hole in one.
Wait a minute, Jay, what is it? Something like this, Jay. Hold up, Jay.
Ain't nobody gonna.
Hey, y'all. Hold on. My second hole in one in history.
Hold on.
My second. It sucked back and went in the hole. Look at here, y'all.
Rains on a hole in one today on the part 3.
Wow. Alvin.
Say something, Pat. Hold on. Let me get you. Hold on. Here you go. Go ahead.
It was just luck, man. I'm telling you. I hit it and Alvin was talking about it was in the sand. Then he said it might be in the hole. Literally, it's in the hole. Y'all can see it. Let me give y'all. I just wanted to show you. It's 2 hole-in-one dudes on the show today.
I see it.
It's 2 hole-in-ones on the dope today. Quit hating, Jimmy.
Aren't you supposed to have a witness when you do a hole-in-one? I'm not a golfer, but don't you supposed to have a witness to sign your card or something like that? When you got
I had 8 of them.
Yep.
And ain't nobody ain't got nobody to co-sign for that.
I'm glad he said that, Jay. I'm glad he said that. Watch this, Jay.
Here you go. Go ahead.
It was just luck, man. I'm telling you. I hit it and Alvin was talking about it was in the sand. Then he said it might be in the hole. Literally, it's in the hole.
It's in the hole.
Let me give y'all. I can't believe this.
Damn. Here you go. Go ahead.
It was just luck, man. I'm telling you. I hit it.
Ain't nobody there. Gary probably filming right now. Gary filming. Extra Eyes Media filming right now. Hey man, one thing about mixtape, that's a golf mixtape now. You ain't gonna never see nobody miss no shot. Just like in basketball. Mixtape ain't nobody missed one yet.
Hey, yeah.
But I want to get back to Jay Lucas. Of course, Jay, I was thinking about as I'm reflecting in the Fundy Recreation, and it reminded me that you were a part of history at the Fundy Recreation Center. And one of the things when I went there last night, we talked about briefly yesterday, it reminded me, informed me that they had took all the trophies out of the case. And I went and looked, and sure enough, see, there was some trophies in the case, Hap.
Oh, okay.
About 8 trophies.
Yeah.
And all 8 of them, know what they were?
What?
For girls basketball.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a problem. And I'm gonna make call. I'm gonna follow through. They ain't got nothing to do with you. I'm gonna make problem. But I got a problem. If you're gonna take all the trophies, I take all of them out. But you don't. You got 8. You got some in. They had a collection of trophies in that case, and one thing should be somewhere in the Fundy Recreation Center is you were part of history because I'm the one that put the game on. The first ever high school game. Mm-hmm. To be played at the Fundy Recreation Center, a regulation high school game, not a grassroots game, not Rucker on Wood. We talking about a regulation high school game was played at the Fundy Recreation Center in fall of 2007. And you played again. What was it, 2006? 2006. You were 11th grade, mate.
2006. It was during All-Star weekend.
During All-Star weekend. And because Nike had came to me, I put that game together. You remember who you played against? Who you played against?
Tweety Carter. Tweety Carter, reserve.
Yes, from reserve.
That was the funniest thing in the world. Do you remember anything significant about what happened before that game started? Or during the game?
It was supposed to be an exhibition game. And then before the game, they said that we couldn't do it. It had to be a real game or you couldn't play it.
Yeah. And the 3-point line, they would not let us tape the 3-point line because it was only an NBA 3 on the court at the time. And so Jay had to play the game with the NBA 3-pointer had back then, that joker way back yonder. And these two, he and Tweety, thinking that that their range can go back there. And boy, they might have boy, Brick City. Yeah, I remember that, man. But but I think that should be on the wall to let people know that it actually was a high school game that took place, and although it's 16 years ago that took place, seems like yesterday. Yep. Now, I'm looking at these guys in shape.
I'm gonna tell you a funny story about that.
Yeah, tell us.
So the whole game, I'm looking at the door because the night before, me and my family, my mom, my dad, my sister, we had went to Kobe's event. And so I told Kobe, like, I got a game. We're playing the next day. You know, if you can come, you'll make it. He's like, all right, I'm going to try to make it. If I can, I come. Gave him the address, gave him everything. So the whole game, I'm looking for him, trying to hope he walk in the door. So the whole game, I'm looking. You probably don't remember this, but I'm looking at the door the whole time because we had went to a sneaker release event before, because then my sister and the family was really close.
Right.
So I'm trying to convince him. I tell him I'm good. You gotta come see me. I'm good. And then that's what he told me, well, how much you in the gym? He was like, are you blacking out in the gym? I'm like, blacking out? What are you talking about? He said, are you in the gym till you black out? I was like, nah, I ain't doing that. So I told him I'm in the gym 10 hours. He's like, that's okay. I'm in there 14. So and I was like, that was it. So that little story right there. That's the whole thing I remember. I know we won, but that was the whole thing I remember about the game besides we winning.
Yeah, man, of course.
And he didn't show up.
Nah, he didn't show up. I didn't expect him to.
Nah.
I was hoping
he probably was somewhere getting an extra workout in. Hey, Jimmy, that stuff is serious. That dope. I ain't never seen nothing like that, what that guy was doing to his body. Kobe Bryant.
Man, I heard. I definitely heard the many stories. I'm delaying it. Look like I'm delaying.
Don't worry about it. We hear you good though. Long as we can hear you, we good.
But I'm gonna slide. I'm saying just click me. I'm gonna slide out and slide back in. That way.
Okay. Hold on. Let me click you off right quick. Hold on. Let me get you out. Let me get you out of the way. Oh, he done jumped off too quick for me. I got him out of there. Okay. Just me and you, Jay. What's up?
There we go. We got rid of them, huh?
You know these people. We're gonna open this thing up and let people know, so they can. I know they want to ask questions. So anybody who have questions right now for Jay Lucas, y'all, let me tell you something. He don't do this that often. All right, we blessed to have him. You blessed to have a young coach from this neighborhood and this city that then went on to do all of these great things, and he didn't play at every level that you can ever think about wanting to play, except in the NBA. Did you ever try out? Did you ever get a chance to try out at the NBA at all, Jay? Did you go to summer league? Did you do anything? You knew? Yeah,
I went to camp. I went to summer camp and all that. Okay. No, I went to summer camp and did that.
Okay.
And it just didn't work out. But so I did that. Went overseas. Did that G League.
So every level
that too. So I've done a little bit of everything.
Every level. Jimmy, let me see. Talk, Jimmy. Talk to us, Jimmy.
Am I back?
Yeah, you back. But it'll catch up. Just keep talking. It'll catch up. Something is wrong.
I ain't going all the way out. I don't like that.
I'm a little shaky too, Jimmy. So Jay Jay the perfect. He done messed us up.
That's that Duke. That's that Duke internet. That's what that is.
Hey, Jay, was that your son behind you? Jay.
Yeah, that's my son. That's
Okay.
Jackson. He back there running around.
Guess what? He is quiet. Why is he so quiet? What you do to
rare.
that baby?
This is rare. I had to bridle. So he's been quiet because he's been bribed, but he's doing good.
I'm telling you, to have a toddler in there, I saw him a little bit in the background, and him not to be making up all that dude, he good. Hey, whatever he want today, get it. Whatever he want. But
he
Jay,
got it.
But Jay, in recruiting this year, were you out? You was out on the recruiting trail this year. Well, tell me some of the events you went to this year. Some of the events you went to this summer.
I was mostly this summer. I was mostly at all the Nike stuff, EYBL stuff, because some of the kids we had committed, and then some of the kids we were recruiting were at that. I did that. I did some of the NBA Global Games that was in Atlanta, and I did Under Armour for a day. So, it's really, we have 4 guys committed. So, this summer was more so about just keeping tracks of them and getting into the younger class a little bit more.
So they committed. They don't sign yet? They just committed. They hadn't signed yet.
Yeah, they just committed. No, they signed in November. They're just committed right now.
So how does it work, man? North Carolina, do y'all still have family down in there in North Carolina area?
Yeah, all my family. My grandfather's there. He's 102.
That's right.
And he's right by campus. My aunt is there. She helps take care of my grandfather on my dad's side. So those 2 are the main ones left. And then my mom, I mean, she has a bunch of siblings and stuff. So I have like 70 cousins in Durham. Aunts, uncles, cousins, everybody. So, it's really, we're the only, my immediate family, like my brother, my sister, my mom and dad, we're the only ones not in Durham in my family.
Okay. Somebody wanted to talk back about Bel Air because we got off Bel Air. Tell us about your experience.
Okay.
The great Bel Air Cardinal. And after you left now, my son had to be around. I used to like Bel Air when you played. Then I had to be I had to hate him because my son. I'm gonna tell you that rivalry when my son played was so thick. When he came back home for college, and he said he needed a gym to work out in, and Glover gave me the gym. And get what he told him? I ain't working out in that damn gym. I said, what? It was that thick, man. It was that. Tell us about your days at Bel Air High School.
I mean, we had good teams. We had, all the way growing up, I think, we went to the playoffs every year. Then every year except my freshman year, we won the district.
Okay.
We then my 2 years, my sophomore and my junior year, we ended up losing in the regional semifinals to people that won state in Kingwood. And then my senior year, we got beat by Cy Falls.
Devin.
And then that was it.
That's the Devin.
Yeah.
What's his name? Devin. I forget his last name, but he can play.
I can't think of his last name, and I'm mad.
Devin Gibson. Devin Gibson.
Played at UTSA. Devin Gibson. Yep.
Yes.
Played at UTSA.
Yeah.
Really play. Very undervalued, underrated. Really play.
So a lot of because we hadn't had a coach to talk about. Tell us about Peach Jam, man. Because a lot of people haven't experienced Peach Jam. Tell us about the experience. You done been to Peach Jam as a player, and now you've been a coach. Take the parents, take the kids, because a lot of we talk about Peach Jam from our point of view, but take them from your point of view, being as a player and now as a coach coming back to do the same thing that coaches used to watch you. Walk us through that story.
So as a player, it was different because, like I said, back then you had Nike sponsored teams, but we didn't have a league. We didn't have the EYBL. So you didn't really, we had 2 tournaments. You had a Memorial Day Classic, and then Boo Williams. those were like the two Nike tournaments where you saw all the Nike teams, and then you didn't see anybody else until Peach Jam.
Okay.
So that type of anticipation and the lead up to that made it, a huge event. It's like on steroids now, but it made it a bigger event because there were less teams and you just didn't see these guys all the time. So that's the one thing about I think that's always was the start of Peach Jam and why it became what it was. And then now it's just it's a different animal now. It's a different monster now. I don't even know how to put it in words. With just the fanfare,
Yes. The
the
merchandise.
people, the merchandise,
Yes.
the like we say again, the cameras everywhere. Just the the fan, just the what you get from social media and stuff like that. It's a different world now.
Jay, each team had
So
their own
I
camera
think it's a
people.
good thing for the game.
But each team
Yeah.
I saw had 2 or 3 camera people. Each team.
Yep. That's where it is now. You always want to be first. You don't want to be last to anything. So if you can be first to it, then why not? You just got to make sure you're doing it the right way. But that's where the game is going, and kind of some of the stuff we talked about earlier. It leads to that. So if you're not doing that and you don't have that kind of stuff, I feel at least I'm not in grassroots, but I feel it's kind of similar to college. If you don't have some stuff, you're gonna be without the best players.
Tell us about Cameron Indoor Stadium. That little small stadium that we see on TV and look like it's so big and great. And I walked in there, I said, this look like a high school gym.
Yeah, that's it. But the one thing about it, it's one of those places, kind of like when you go into Kansas, that you kind of feel the tradition and feel the history because of how it looks. Because they kind of try to keep it as traditional as possible. It's not one of these redone, revamped, brand new arenas that you kind of can still feel the history and tradition when you walk in. And I think that's what makes it kind of special and why it is what people talk about.
How many times y'all practice in there? Y'all practice in there?
We practiced in there 3 times this summer since I've been there, and we did
Okay.
like scrimmages. But
Okay.
most of the times, our practice facility,
Yeah.
which is rare, our practice facility has 2 full courts in it,
Yeah.
side by side. So you have so much more space to kind of get a lot of work done.
Work
So
done.
it's easier just to do that than to be in Cameron where you only have 2 goals.
Right. Jimbo, we miss you, man. You took a long time to come back. What'd you do?
Man, I don't know. It's still.
Don't worry
I don't
about
know
it.
what it is today.
We see your face and you sound good. Just
Okay,
Yeah.
y'all just don't even look at me. Just look down. But I'm like I'm starring in one of them karate movies or something back in the days. Now. But I was looking as I was booting back up, and we're going to talk about that. But it was something I knew it was a fact because somebody texted me and I didn't know the number offhand. Somebody asked me how many Division I players was in the class of 2007 from out of Greater Houston. And I didn't want to give the wrong number out. And so when I'm booting back up, I went and got the old cheat sheet book. You guys not going to see it till 8 seconds later. But
No, we see
this
it
is
now.
a cheat.
You
I
done
know,
caught
I'm
up.
just saying. And it done caught up.
Yeah, you done caught up.
And I went and I counted them. There were 40 Division I signees from the class of 2007. 40 from the one area.
Division 1?
Yes. But people, and it just gets me. So 40. And I think the year before it had 46
Wow.
with Nick Wise' class. I mean,
Nick was
and
older than Jay.
Yeah, Nick came out in 2006.
Okay.
And Jay was
Yeah,
2007.
he was a year old.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Tommy was 2009 because Tommy was around that time. That's when the era started. If you played well and you were 15 and under class, then they will move you up to Peace Jam and let you go travel with the team with the Houston Hoops. They started that around the time when Nick Wise was in the 9th grade. And then Tommy, so they did it with Nick, they had to do it with Tommy. So Tommy got to play and go to, and actually I watched Tommy score buckets. Just like I saw Nick Wise score about 4 points, I saw Tommy score about 10 points in ninth grade. Hell, when your son played,
one of the best high school players to ever come out of Houston.
Was Tommy?
Yeah,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What would Tommy do to these guys?
absolutely.
Now? These point guards out there now, these power guards. What would Tommy do to these guys right now? Especially with name, image, likeness out there. What do you project would have happened with a guy like Tommy Mason Griffin if you can super implant him into 2022? What would happen with name, image, likeness as it's standing? It would be a bidding war.
It would. It would. I mean, I don't even think you can put into words what he would do.
Man. Now, as we want to ask questions, I mentioned the name, image, likeness, and this is a new part of basketball now, a new part of recruiting. Just in general, just on earlier this week, it was announced that SMU has what they call the collectives now, and they're going to give, I think, 35,000 to each
35,000 to the men.
To the men's basketball players.
25,000 to the women.
Every year.
Yeah.
Is there first I want to ask you?
I think it's 35,000. And then the football team got some too.
So it's basketball and football.
Yeah.
Basketball and football, 30 I want to say 35,000 is what I thought I said. So now 36,000.
Oh,
36.
Excuse me.
What collectives, explain that to a lot of the parents out there and the viewers out there that don't really understand what's going on right now. And as you mentioned, this ain't for everybody. Everybody in their mind and their mama thinking that my baby, because he scored 20 on little Johnny, that he's gonna get him a name, image, likeness deal. But these programs now, what does that mean, and what is a collective? How will they receive the money at the end of the year? I mean, I'm not talking about in specific. I'm talking about in general for most schools and most situations that you've heard of.
I mean, I haven't been anywhere that had a collective. I kind of understand, the gist of it. It's basically you have donors put money in a pot, and then they split it up amongst the sports and the individuals, and they kind of decide, who gets what. So basically some collectives, like you're saying, that sounds like, at least from my understanding with with SMU, that they're basically giving every basketball player the same amount. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of like the money coming from the school. So, that's kind of the agreement that's understood. Like when you're talking NIL, it's like, okay, we have a collective. Our part is we're going to, say we're going to give you 35,000. That's what we can do for you at SMU. And we can get that to you every year or however they decide to break it up. And, the big thing about NIL, it is good, but it is also bad for the game because you have a lot of people who are recruiting off of it, and then they aren't making up what they're promising and what they're saying to these people. And last year I was, had the benefit of being at probably the school that did NIL the best. Mm-hmm. And what you think people are making in these numbers is just what people are. It's a lot to put it in a nutshell. So you think all these people are making. Let's even say you think these people are making six figures. They're not making six figures, mm-hmm. And some of these schools are promising it, and it isn't adding up, and so that's the scary part about it is that, it's ruining a lot of kids and a lot of people. And, benefit is now you can transfer in a year and every year if you want to. But the hard part is that the game is changing it. But the benefit of it is that, mm-hmm. You have the opportunity now to call people on their bluff. So you're not tied in for 4 years. So if you're telling me you can give me 300,000 and I get there and I'm there for a whole year and I only get 6, something not adding up.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? So it's a big part of it. And you got kids making decisions based off of that, and it's putting their career and their lives and their families in jeopardy. So you got to be careful.
And those stories are not being told as much either. Jay, thank you for saying.
No,
We
because
we
they don't want the stories. The
yeah.
NIL, in a nutshell, the NIL is for college football. Everybody else is
Good
just
point.
getting a blowback from it. It's based off of college football and it's
Football.
for college football. And that's the same with the conference realignment and everything like that. It's all for college football. So
Okay.
basketball will never make what college football. Like the quarterback,
Mm-hmm.
you can be the best player on the basketball team. You're not going to make what the quarterback's
Quite
making.
nice. So don't go there expecting that.
Unless you're at a basketball school.
Like okay.
No, you can't go there. You can't go there
Right.
expecting that. You
Right.
can't. If you pick choosing your school and picking your school off that, then you're going for the wrong reasons. You have to go because your brand is still made for what you do between the lines. Like at the end of the day, as a basketball player, you still got to perform. We're not just gonna, people aren't just gonna give you money just because they like you. And you averaging 4 points, and you think we still gonna, these people are still gonna give you these deals and have you in commercials and all this stuff, and you aren't producing. It just doesn't add up that way.
I
So
thought
once again,
And
so.
then now, on the other hand, there's like bad side of the game is
Okay.
you have agents and you have these other people involved, and now they want to come directly to a school and be like, oh well, what are you going to do for the NIL, and stuff like that, and we can't do anything. So what do you mean?
Right.
So
They
that's
didn't
the
read the
kind of
rules.
so
Those people didn't read the
it's
rules.
a slippery slope.
Right.
No, the hard part is there really are no rules right now. It
Okay.
hasn't been governed or anything right now, so it's no like guardrails on anything. And it's not a bad thing. You just have to kind of educate people in what it is. And a lot of times now you've gotten agents and stuff that aren't they don't know. So
Yeah,
now
they
they're
don't know.
ruining these kids.
Yeah. They call themselves NIL agents too, Jimmy. They got somebody
Exactly.
and ain't got a clue about nothing that is going on. Like you said, it's the why. I told Jay long time ago when Chris and Chris Walker was on the show, Jimmy, we was talking about the NIL. Man, it's NIL. It's gonna change the game. It's gonna do this. It's gonna do that. I said, man, y'all slow down. It's not gonna be as lucrative for everybody. But one thing I like about it, some players are benefit from it. You at first, but I guess some of those same players were benefited in the back rooms anyway. So so it's just so
so
crazy out here right now.
the opportunity is there. That's the thing. It's the legally, the opportunity is there. The same the same caliber for the most part in the vast majority, the same caliber of player that can probably lure and get that name, image, likeness deal, uh, a commitment from a collective or whatnot. It's kind of the same type of player that football program was willing to go underground and make good and take care of his folks anyway. It just makes it
Absolutely.
legal for those
Absolutely.
that, and truth be told, the way it is set
And,
up, as Jay just said, at the end of the day, you'd rather get it the underground way, because underground way you ain't got to pay taxes on it. So a lot of them guys that were
yeah,
getting it,
that's true too. And I'll
you know
say
what I'm
this
saying?
is like it's also messing the game up where somebody who should go to SMU and at 35 in that collective is good for them. They thinking all these people are making 100 and 150. I'm not going to go to SMU because it's only 35 when that may be a good opportunity
Doing
and
it
a
for you.
good, let's say, package for them. And now they want to go somewhere higher because they think, and then they don't get 35. And so you just have to know and be aware. So that's like part of it. It's like you still got to base the school off of what you're going for. You're going to play basketball. So what best fits that?
Jimmy, think about what he just said. I'm gonna use you, Jimmy. Jimmy, you go over here. You playing baseball. They ain't gonna give y'all that much money, no way. But you playing baseball. So you go over there, Jimmy. You you SMU saying, okay, Jimmy, I got you. You're 35. And you get the 35 over there. But then that Oklahoma, because you was bragging about Oklahoma. Oklahoma call you, Jimmy, we can come over here. I'm gonna give you 150. You get over there, they give you 12,000. They probably give you 5,000. you ain't gonna come back. Well, you gonna be too damn embarrassed to come back and say something about it, Jimmy.
Well, the thing is, you asking me, what's your question to me?
No, but wouldn't you be? So what would happen? I was just giving an example of what Jay was saying. Some young players is not the grass is not always greener on the other side.
So what we ask is if Jay,
Mm-hmm.
based on this part right now, which is news to many, what advice can you give the general public on how they could best troubleshoot their situation before they enter into it with a name, image, likeness deal?
Well, you got to know, you have to be self-aware. Is the best. You got to step in. That's the hardest part for people to realize is that, you aren't, let's see, we can talk about kids already in college. Like,
Yeah.
everybody's not Keontae George or,
Okay.
Cason Wallace. Like,
Okay.
everybody is not that caliber. So you aren't going to be put in that class. You weren't a McDonald's All-American. You weren't a Jordan Brand All-American. You weren't a top 10 player in the country. So, what they get, you're not going to be able to get. So you still have to base it off of what is the best for you and where are you going to be the most valuable. And you're, like I said, you're only going to be valuable if you're getting things done on the court. Because those people have a big following and they have things already in place. You know what I mean? So that's the kind of thing that you have to kind of put into place, is that you're not going to get to a certain level in an NIL type instance. You may catch them on the back end. You do what you're supposed to do to get to the NBA, but the NIL, the NIL, it's just going to be hard for you to catch because of what they have put in place already for what they've done and their following and stuff like that.
So maybe 4 or 5 years down the road, maybe this thing will be, a lot of the the wrinkles will be ironed out. Maybe.
Oh, nah, I don't think so. I think
wait a minute. It got to get better than it is now, Jay.
No, because it's all going. I mean, it's only going to get worse. I think with the new power conference, with what the SEC is doing with football,
right.
Everything's going to be based off of football. So, with all them coming together and doing that, it's just going to become, even worse, because now you're putting all the best football schools and they're going to have to compete against each other. So those people aren't going to want real guardrails on it. So, for basketball,
That's right.
it's just going to be the same. So you still just have to kind of do what you need to do, but you can't base your school off an NIL package. That just especially, unless you are, Chet Holmgren or Paulo Banchero, that's different. That's different. Those are that's
them
2
5
out of
you talking about.
2 out of 350.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's different. You can kind of pick where you want to go to school in the sense of that, but unless you're that, you shouldn't, at least in my mind and what I've seen, you shouldn't make a decision based off of that.
Now, of course, Jay Lucas, just assistant men's basketball coach at Duke University. Blue Devils in the house. We have a couple of questions. I don't know if you got to the question.
I got them. I just read them, Jimmy, because they didn't pop up on my. I got them from you. You can read them.
I combined 2 of them together, Jeremy Davis and Thaddeus Moody. Thaddeus is up in Chicago. And they ask you, what is the difference between Kentucky, Texas, and Duke basketball? And also, what are your what's the mental makeup to play for one of those types of blue bloods?
The difference, between the 3 is, I will say that Kentucky and Duke are basketball schools. Like, you go there and that those are, everything is based off of basketball. You know what I mean? Where, like, Texas, football is king, and it will always be king. So you just have to understand that. There's nothing wrong with it. That's the difference. And then when you go a little bit deeper into it, just my little time at Duke and Kentucky, they both are the same but different. You know what I mean? And it's just basically how, each coach runs the program different. It's not nothing bad to say about that. But Cal comes from the NBA, and he comes from a pro style type of approach and environment. And then at Duke, it's still more, college oriented, a more college environment. So that would be the two biggest. And I think the thing about playing at a blue blood or playing at these high level schools is that, the hard part is that every recruit and every person that comes there think they're one and done. And they think that they're only there for a year because that's what's been done before them. And that's what all their peers, maybe who have been there are doing. So the mentality of thinking that, okay, what happens if this doesn't go one and done? Like, you have to have the mentality and be strong enough to realize that, no, I'm not a failure. This doesn't mean that my life is over. This doesn't mean that my basketball life is over. My career is over because I didn't become a one and done. You have to be able to kind of shake that and not, compare yourself to everyone and everything around you. You know what I mean? And I think that's the hardest part about those schools, is because you want to compare yourself to the environment because the people that are there. You know what I mean? Like, you've been there with 5 people who were all one and done, and now you're a junior. How do you feel about that? And so that's the part, the mental aspect that you really have to overcome, is that, that comparison is a thief of joy. You can't let it get to you.
How do y'all help? Do y'all help them through it? How is any support system for that? Or is just every man for himself?
No, you have to help them through it.
Mm-hmm.
Because nowadays, this, the things that come with mental health and things like that, it's real. So you have to have some type of support system, because there are a lot more pressures on them now, even so more so when I was in school, because kind of like I said, basketball is not as pure as it used to be. You know what I mean? So there's a lot more pressures and stuff that they don't want to talk about, and that you have to kind of get them to talk about and kind of get them to express and kind of get them to understand it's okay and things like that. So you have to have that kind of in place, because you are in charge of people's children. And that's the thing that they aren't your kids; they're someone else's kids. You look at them as your kids, but you also want to make sure you get them home as they got to you or better. So
Mm-hmm.
that's a big part of it.
I got a couple of questions right here. I'm gonna rapid fire them to you. What do you think about the top players going to HBCUs?
I mean, I don't think you have to, they have to do it. You know what I mean? You
Mm-hmm.
have to have somebody that's willing to do it and really buy into it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I know in football at Jackson State, they had the number one cornerback
Yeah.
that brought into it and that went down there with Deion Sanders. You have to have somebody that's willing to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it has to work. That's the other
Yeah.
side of it.
That's
Because if it
yeah.
doesn't work, then it won't happen again.
Right.
It's kind of a double-edged sword. Is that you got to have somebody willing to do it, and then it has to work out for that person, and they have to kind of set that path. And once they've shown that it's working, can be done. I think it would be something that can be done.
Ain't that so unique? Just think about what you said. You said it has to work, but people go to blue bullets all the time, and it don't work out for them.
Right. And I
But your
think most time
chances
people
are
see it.
greater.
Yeah,
Yeah, your
yeah,
chances are
that's how
greater.
people look at it, and
Hmm.
there's data to back it.
Right, right,
You know what I
right,
mean? And
right.
so people always see it, more as a risk than going to a
Okay.
blue blood and going to do that.
Have you ever came across a recruit who was truly interested in getting his degree and not thinking one and done?
Yeah, you have some people who are aware of who they are,
Mm-hmm.
and wanting to do that. So yeah, I've come across some of those, because they are picking the school for the rest of their life. You do have some of those guys, and those are some of the your foundations of your team and stuff who actually understand the value of having a degree from Texas or a degree from Duke or something like that.
Oh, this is a good one. And I'm sorry, Jennifer, but I should have answered. She said because you were talking about. I think Jimmy asked you a question about the things you had to go through. She said, "How did you handle the pressure and the comparisons? How did you handle them when you was a player?"
It was established early. Being the youngest, seeing my brother go through it,
Right.
and knowing like you had, it was no hiding from it. You know what I mean? So that's the one thing you kind of understood that it was
Were
no
you
hiding
nervous
from it.
ever? Were you nervous?
No, I was never nervous.
Uh-huh.
Mm-mm. Because you don't know anything else. You know what I mean? So you don't know anything any different. So it's your normal.
Right.
So it's never nervous, and my dad taught us from an early age that was a big part of it, of everything.
Jimbo, did you muted yourself, Jimmy?
There we go.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I'm looking at some of the questions, trying to make sure we're missing none of your questions. And I want to ask, of course, Jay, now when you recruiting guards, lead guards, take us through a simple evaluation. What are you looking for? Because you're looking at see the schools you've been to, as you just mentioned, blue bloods. You've been to programs, Texas, the highest combined budget and revenue draw of any college program in America. Then you go to Kentucky, one of the most historically rich basketball programs in America. Even though it's in Lexington, then you have Duke. It's like, you're right. So it's a different type of player that you're recruiting. But in doing so, let's say that player who's not ranked on ESPN, and he's not even in the top 100. What are the chances that Duke or Kentucky, and we're talking in general, that way they just put the pressure on Duke, or Texas recruits that player?
There are chances. I mean, for us,
There are?
we're
You saying there are?
yeah, absolutely,
Okay.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And it's a little bit of timing, and right place, right time type scenario.
Mm-hmm.
It's harder when you're playing, in an, let's say, off-brand site, during the July periods. It is because most time coaches are going to go, where they feel the most players are at once to get like a bang for their buck. But you can kind of run into some scenarios, especially in the June, like when the high school, like a player in the high school events and then stuff like that is really good for kids who don't play on a sneaker circuit team or stuff like that. That's where you find, those kids, and you can kind of follow up on them then. It's harder in July because you already got your group of guys you're recruiting, you're following them, you're trying to do that. But in that June and that April period, when you have that kind of leeway to kind of go and evaluate and spot people and try to find people to recruit and stuff like that, that's when it kind of happens. But I would say that June high school period is the best time for those kids that may not be ranked and stuff like that.
The
Hey,
June live.
Jimmy, I just heard something. Boy, I just heard something. Coach said, like in July, we already kind of know who we're going to look at. But in April, you got a chance. We out fishing a little bit. We on an expedition. We kind of know, but we fishing. And in June, make sure you participate in your high school event because they are coming to look at you in your high school setting. And in July, man, we kind of, I like you, but we kind of already know we going to protect. We going to look at our dudes. Like earlier, you said you had a few dudes that already committed. You going to make sure they see that Duke shirt on the front row. So, but Jimmy, I know you want to comment because Jimmy, you've always talked about that, and I know you got it. You're going to piggyback back off that because you've been telling people that for years. Huh?
Absolutely. I mean, yes, you want to take advantage of opportunities and when they exist. And my thing is twofold because there's a growing number of there's a growing number of people. It's way more people on platforms who rank the kids now.
Okay.
And which means there's more people out there that they shouldn't, but there's more strength in numbers. People gonna be missed. Hell, that was one young man this summer, he wasn't even ranked in nobody's top 100.
Okay.
He goes and plays. He's about 7 foot tall, and I can't, and he goes and plays from out of California, and he goes and plays. Next thing you know, he surges up the charts. He's playing USA basketball. Then you have another young man who wasn't ranked in the top 50. He's ranked number 2 in some polls, number 1 in the country. So as Jade's saying, there's a chance. So that means, see, here's the thing that's tricky.
Okay.
And I strongly encourage people to do so. A lot of the platforms, a lot of the people try to identify them. You see, we identify the platform. Like they say, John Doe, little Boogaloo Smith is ranked by ESPN. But okay, go and do diligence by finding out the actual individuals who's in charge of comprising the list for ESPN. Then it'll give you more may or may not give you more respect. When you see the guys, then you'll know, or maybe do your homework. That way, and you understand certain things. Then you'll see other guys, and you'll see that was a kid, Jay, you might remember this. That was a young kid that was about 16, 15 years old a few years ago that had a national rankings platform. And I was one, he was up in Indiana or somewhere. It was a young
yes. Kid. He used to do it for his mom. And he did because his mom had cancer or something. Used to do an event for his mom.
He was doing rankings. He had a rankings poll. And don't get it wrong. Young fellows in the gym all day long.
Yes.
But he had to be at school. He wasn't going to be flying around the country. So, and it wasn't no streams that just came out. But my thing is, that don't discredit him. You want to know who the person is. That's like when I'm reading the articles in different stories, and we become more fond of doing. We identify the author, because that person could get fired if he don't know what he's talking about, and you don't give him credit now. That same cook, if he can't cook and he gets hired across the street at another place, the food gonna be better or worse over across the street. And that's the thing that I try to implore people to do in regards to this stuff. This. So now, and I'm leading into to ask you, Jay, how much do you lean on the rankings or the scouting services based on you navigating through 3 different colleges, major college programs?
Not a lot. I just really lean on them for a database of names of people, and then just go and evaluate myself. But I'm not really leaning on them as like they had this guy ranked number 1, and I think he's the best player in the country, so we got to recruit him. He may be ranked number 1, but I don't think he's the best player in the country, and I don't think he might not be that good.
Right.
So I usually just use it for a database of names of just people who I might not have seen yet, in regions I haven't been or something like that. So that's why I kind of use them for.
I got a question for you. I think it was good. Look, Jacoby, aspiring young coach, want to be like you one day. He said AAU coaches says, summer grassroots coaches says college coaches hate coming to see players during the summer, and the team is playing zone defense. Is this true? See, I know it's not, but a college coach got to confirm this. He just want to know do y'all hate?
I missed the middle part of the question.
Okay, do y'all hate when y'all come to the games and the summer teams are playing a zone defense? Do y'all dislike that? Because some AU coaches are saying that college coaches, they telling you that college coaches don't want to see no teams playing zones in the summer. Is that true? I think that's what he tried.
Yeah, I say I would lean to say yes, that is true.
Okay.
Because it's hard to get a real evaluation. Because majority of the time you're going to be playing against a man-to-man, so it's hard to see, like, can they beat their man off the dribble? Can they guard? And vice versa. Like, if they're going against the zone or playing against the zone or playing zone. So, it's hard to get a true evaluation if they're playing against the zone or in the zone.
So that's your in your experience, is that a universal experience of coaches? Is that all over? Because I saw a lot of
I
that on Twitter.
mean, I can just speak for me,
Yeah.
but I would say it's more universal. Like being in the gym and seeing the team play a zone and hearing some of the other coaches and stuff that they say.
Mhm.
You would lean towards them. Not wanting to evaluate and watch people play a zone.
So even Jim Boeheim, who play number zone, he looking for guys that can guard man to man and put in his system. He ain't going and looking for guys that can play zone defense. Is that because they play
Yeah,
him?
and I would say
Uh-huh.
right, and I would say he is going to more so recruit off of attributes. If you look at most of his guys and how he's done it
Oh,
traditionally, they've
yeah.
been 6'6", 6'7", long, skinny, rangy.
Mm-hmm.
Cover a lot of space, and then a big 7-foot shot blocker in the middle.
Right.
That's kind of you look at his teams and his best teams. That's always what they've had.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he kind of recruits more to that than so going and watching the team play his own and be like, oh, this kid really knows his zone reads. You know what I mean? I don't think he's gonna
Right.
do that.
Right.
It's more so,
Right.
how
That's
he wants his zone to look like.
so Jacoby. Have them kids playing man to man, man. Don't get fooled by them zones. Somebody went and won a couple of games because they was playing zone. Have them kids playing man to man, man. Please. That's
Yeah,
where
and
you.
that's different. Like if you're trying to throw a wrinkle out there to try to win the game, okay, you can go zone, but it's hard
I
when you're
got you.
trying to play the whole game in zone.
I got you. I got you. I got you. Jimmy, I know you got something. You over
Yeah,
there grinning.
yeah. I mean, yeah, man. That's the thing is. I mean, you guys, uh, this basketball stuff, you can't trick it, and so, but a lot of people have, uh, in the last few years, one of the things that become a pet peeve of mine is those that the fake offers.
Uh-oh.
And in your position, I don't care about the names, but about about how many times can you estimate that somebody have probably solicited you to extend a fake offer, meaning an offer that they can't commit on if they wanted to right then. That's why I call it. That's like having a coupon and you can't go and use it at the store. About how many do you estimate that people have probably solicited you to do, so as a favor, as looking out or whatnot? I'm just curious. I've never asked you this question, not to mean to put you on the spot. Don't care about the names of the people, but about how many? Is it 10 or less, 20 or less, or more than 25 in those times you've been a Division One assistant coach?
It's different because of the different places I've been. Now, at Texas, it's like held over your head. You know what I mean? Like if you can't really, some places like you can't recruit this kid if we don't have an offer. And then if you don't offer this kid, you got to offer these two other kids if you want to get this kid. Things of that nature have been said and stuff like that. And it's not a lot, but it does happen. And I would say I ran into it more when I was at Texas. And it's a weird thing because everywhere I've been, I've never like none that says only the head coach could offer. Um, so that's something that's a little bit different too, and it's something you can use. Where like, well, I can't do that. That only offers come from my head coach, so it kind of gave you a buffer, as well. But I ran into it more when I was at Texas than I did at Duke or Kentucky. The thing at Duke or Kentucky is, most of the people just want you to call, so they can say, look, see, I told you I have Kentucky or Duke call or reach out to you. I told you I could get that done. So that's the thing we ran into more at my last two stops.
So that helps those guys a little bit. So is it anything wrong with helping those guys know that they can get you on the phone and know that they can get you can call? I mean, is that bad, Jimmy? In a bad
No,
way?
I don't think it's bad.
I don't think it's a bad. I don't think it's bad.
I
But
don't think it's bad at all.
but the offer you see what it's a lot of people and from what we've been hearing, Jay, and I'm glad you didn't have to deal with this stuff too much, but the fake. I'm just saying, what do the fake offers, Jimmy? Who do they benefit if it's a fake offer? So let's say Jay give me an offer right now from Duke. So I'm just holding that office. Jay, I know you ain't gonna commit to me, but if Jay asked me, if Jay then gave me, excuse me, if John Shire then gave me, because you said the head coach, if Coach Shire then gave me because he might be looking at this, hey coach, if coach then gave me an offer, it said I got an offer, so everybody else gonna offer now. If Duke that offered me, shoot, everybody else better. So, I mean, I'm just trying to say, how do you benefit? Is that the way you benefit from the fake offer? I'm trying to find out the benefit of the fake offer, Jimmy. What's the benefit?
Well, the benefit is it keeps your family happy, your basketball family happy on the grassroots side of the fence, because most of those are coming not from the scholastic avenue of the recruiting peer. It's coming from the non-scholastic basketball portion of the basketball family. So in order to, if you can get that offer quickly, then it keeps peace. Then it gives you bragging rights to lure others to come to your program. And that's why I'm saying that's the selfish part of it, because it's done for just bells and whistles. It's a dog and pony trick. And once again, trick is the key word. So that means you're engaging in tricking. And when you engage in tricking, somebody is going to come out on the short end of the stick eventually.
But Jimmy, in some businesses, they call that marketing. I know Coke is a terrible product and it'll kill you, but I'm going to make Coke sound good. I mean, Coke ain't good for you. Coca-Cola's not good for you. But I'm going to market, Sprite ain't good, but I'm going to market it like it's the best thing. Coke, it's refreshing. A cool and refreshing drink. So all those guys doing, and I'm just trying to play both sides, those guys doing is marketing their program, saying this kid got an offer from, I'm Jimmy, I'm all over the place with it.
Take the Coke analogy and look at it and apply it to the cigarette industry, to the tobacco industry.
Yes.
Okay. They have a label on that package.
Yes.
Now, whether you read it or not, that's on you. But that label is legally mandated to be on that package. That's akin to you going and the tobacco operator saying, "I got a special cigarette. It don't apply to them rules. It ain't gonna mess with your lungs at all. You can come on. I got a special, mine special. It ain't like them." But the thing is the intent of it, because if most people that solicited the fake offers, and as the words that Jay Lucas used a while ago, you basically put it over their head, and that's almost like extortion. You basically make them feel like you can't recruit none of my kids unless don't even come unless you offer this one or that one. It didn't used to be like that. And why? Why? Just because you're going to make little Johnny happy right now because his dad might be the money guy on the team to help him funding the flights or paying for the hotel rooms or helping with your finances on the program. So this is the way you make him happy.
Jimmy.
Come on, man.
Jimmy, go from the guys, Jimmy. Not from your perch, but go from these guys' perch. If I can get Jay Lucas to give me a fake offer, it ain't hurting Jay and it ain't gonna hurt me, and I can get the money guy.
Yeah.
To think that I can get his son on the phone with John Shire, and the money guy gonna keep. I'm talking about from this guy's point of view. Man, he gonna do that, Jimmy.
Okay. You said don't. What you just said, your words.
Yeah.
You say, and it don't hurt the assistant coach. We're gonna take the Jay Lucas out of this equation. We're gonna talk in general.
I said if
The
it don't
assistant-
hurt Jay, and if it don't hurt, yeah.
I'm just saying the assistant coach.
Okay.
I'm not that way. It ain't specifically about him, about Jay Lucas. So this is a general conversation.
We hold up. We got a self-righteous dude talking about it's a lie. Like you ain't never told a lie before, Karen Roach.
Asking your questions. Is it a lie, Helen?
Yes,
I mean,
yes. But people, all I'm saying from those guys' point of view, okay, they using their relationship because guess what? Evidently, Jimmy, they got to have a relationship with Jay before Jay do. Jay, we just using you now since you here. We got to have a relationship with the coach to even be able to even do that in the first place. You called up the about 90 miles from here. You called them coaches up there and said, hey man, you can't mess up this city with them fake offers. But these guys, Jimmy, it's just a.
So Helen, if that's the case, understand this is how it messes it up.
Mm-hmm.
It can become time costly for the coach who's extended the fake offer.
Okay.
This is how. Follow me closely.
Okay.
Because once it becomes public that this young giant, little boogaloo, got that offer, right? He's going to go and post it on social media.
Absolutely.
Ain't no doubt about it. Right?
But the coach can't respond to it. Jay can't respond to it.
No. Here's what happens. If you the Nike,
that's another added layer.
Keep going.
Right? Mm-hmm. You the Nike coach of the grassroots. I'm on the Adidas side.
Okay. All right.
And you done got him to offer your kid. Now I got a kid over here.
Better than
that I know that the world knows is much better than that kid and just offered. So now what happens? I'm gonna do two things. I got a 7-footer coming in 9th grade, and he's a 5-star. So what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna let that assistant coach. But no, okay. So you offered him, and you ain't offered my kid. You know what? Don't even come asking about this 7-foot 9th grader. I see how you want to do. Go on. I see how you roll. And this is what I'm saying, how it can become inconvenient, because now assistant coach, got to spend time to put out that brush fire. He could have been doing other stuff. He got to deal with that. Then it duplicates, because now the Dallas guy mad because the Houston guy got the offer, the fake offer. He want a fake one for his kid too. And this is how, now Jay, I can ask you to speak on in general. How far from the mark did I just paint that picture? Or I could be way off. I could be, I'm getting old. I could be a dinosaur in this thing. Or am I pretty much on the mark?
That makes sense. What you got, Jay?
Nah, as much as, things change, they stay the same. I think you're right on the mark with, experiences that, I've had to go through. People, and it's much more prevalent in areas, I would say, you hear about it like in the Houston, Dallas, Atlanta, LA, big talent pools with a lot of universities around them. So that's a big thing that's prevalent in cities and areas and states like that. You know what I mean? And you run into it a lot there, and it's, it's competitive. Some people do it, some people don't. I kind of stayed away from it. Because it wasn't something, I wanted to do or wanted to say. But the harder part is like, you can't address the ones that didn't have offers. So if you call somebody and say, I'm having this conversation, I'm talking to you, I'm interested, we're going to watch you play, we're going to recruit, blah, blah, And so, you may get off the phone and then 2 minutes later, they put out, they got an offer. Now you can't call back and be like, nah, so it kind of puts you in a kind of tricky situation when stuff like that happens too.
Wow. I mean, I'm glad, Jimmy. I'm glad I played the advocate on the other side, because I just don't even know why them coaches. Because I ain't never talked to a summer coach that did that. So I've never talked to one that did it, Jay. So I'm just saying, but if all of this good stuff happening for him, he getting all this good publicity, And guess what? The head coach can't refute it. Man, I know these people gonna do it. So my thing, how do you get a Jimmy? How do you get around it?
But what portion of those actually turn into a real committable offer? That's what I'm saying. See, my
Okay.
thing is this.
Okay.
And the thing is, Heather,
I got you.
9 times out of 10,
Mhm.
the kid really don't know the truth. That's when the deception is played. That's when you're playing on people's emotions. We already talking about mental health of a lot of these young people in today's society, about their different thresholds of handling stress. So they have to go, and then when they come to find out, they have to live in character. Because if you go to school, your classmates and your teachers really don't know that you got a fake offer. So they're telling you, ooh, little Johnny boy, Duke want him, y'all. You know, and he got to go and live in character. When somebody asks him a real question like, well, have you talked to the head coach yet? No. Well, when is your official visit set? You know, it's August now. They said it's official visit. Well, I don't know when I'm going to go yet. I don't know yet. You know, you get 5 of them a year in the 10th through the 12th grade. You ain't got one set yet? I mean, then the reality, he has to go back and has nobody to talk to clear and understand what's going on. I think that these young people can handle more than we try to put, that we are willing to put on their backs, on their shoulders. If we was to let them know, I promise you, as much mischievousness that a lot of these young people get into nowadays, and with DMs and how they navigate through social media, they would understand. But they don't understand how to, and that's what a problem is to me. Because then they will go to as it becomes Division 1 or bust, and they feel now you really wasn't a Division 1 prospect in the first place, borderline maybe.
Okay, those. Okay.
And then you don't even want to play. That was a coach now that's at one of the schools in the Big 12. His nephew. I remember going through this, and it kind of made me feel bad because I knew how this story was going to end. The young nephew went, and the head coach, he was a head college coach, and how do you remember this? This was about 3 years ago. He gave his nephew an offer in order to help his self-esteem. Because I talked with the coach, good friend of mine. I said, man, what's going on with this? I didn't know it was his nephew at the time. I said, man, it's my sister's son. I understand that. Yeah, offer him. But to help his self-esteem. But then the kid goes, he don't realize that they did it for a reason. And he goes, I don't think that kid ever played basketball a day after his high school season. But it was an effort to try to help build other schools up, to try to give him a look, right, and to help him out. He wasn't even going to take him as a walk-on. And that's your nephew. Right. That's the part that I get. I get itchy.
I got you.
But we got Jay. You tell that part there. I really believe a lot of the things that are messed up in today's recruiting sector. This is one of the atoms of why stuff is so bad, and it's hard to dispute it with any factual evidence. You can't come to me with no factuals to dispute properly about this stuff, about the inducement of fake offers. College coaches, first of all, in most cases, Jay, that you know of, are college coaches out there willing to give fake offers, or are they solicited to give them by a third party?
They not willing. You don't go out willing to give a fake offer. Kind of like I stated earlier, because I mean, so if it catch up to you, you get fired. Then you don't have no time to feed your family.
Hello.
And then on the other hand, you're kind of put in a tough situation where you may be in a spot where you're feeling pressure because you haven't got a recruit or you haven't done something. So you need this person to help you or get you somebody else. So, you kind of do this to get that. So it's that kind of thing that also kind of falls into it as well. Hold on, I got to move family. So that's part of it too in doing that.
Okay.
Man, this is one hell of a conversation, man. And we got to get ready to land the plane, man.
Well, Jimmy, let's do this, Jimmy. Let's get Jay. Jay, this your turn. This your home visit. This your first time on tour. You got a home visit to all of these parents out here. You got your new university. You're not a new boss. You got, I mean, it's your turn.
Well, technically, he got to be in general.
No.
He got to generalize. He
Yeah,
can't say
generalize it. Yeah, yes.
Yeah, you got to be in general.
You just want people to know who you are. That might not know. You've been to Texas, you've been to Kentucky, now you here. Parents, I'm here now. This what's going on. Now.
I'm more so just want to do it in general because I feel, I have a responsibility to the city, to the state, to the people. They always been good to me there. So, it's always in general. And it's kind of everything we talked about today and everything we talked about in general is just we got to do a better job of putting the kids first. And I think that's a hard part that goes without being said is because there's so many parents and so many people and other people involved in what it looks like and what it's seen on social media or they're not putting their kids or the people in the best position to be successful. So that's what what we have to do here. And, it's our responsibility. I feel like it's my responsibility because I've been through it and I am places you dream of being. So, it's my way of trying to give back to the Houston basketball community. And I want to see us be successful. I want to see us strive. I want to see the whole state of Texas be successful and be strive because I do have pride in that and everything. So we got to do a better job of putting the kids first. We can't worry about, what it looks like or what it may be seen or this person is here, this person's that. No. We need to be unified in what we're doing. And I think that's a big part of it. Right now is that there's not enough unification from the state of Texas and the city in general because we got a lot of talent, we got a lot of stuff, but there's no reason why, people should be spread thin in other states,
Right.
Playing for teams in other states, and there are good programs. I'm not taking anything away, but, it's a pride for me being from Texas and being from Houston and having a jersey on my chest that said Houston. It just is a different level that comes with it. So we got to get back to that. I think that's a big part. And it doesn't matter, where you're from, but if you're the best player in your city, best player in your state, and you want to rep that, then you should rep it. That's
Right.
what it should be.
So now you saying that you're going to come and take some of our best players out of the state back to Durham with you at some point. I already know it. So, but we don't mind. Hey, we don't mind.
Absolutely.
Hey, I would love for some of our kids to be part of the brotherhood because I saw what it did for my son leaving, and I saw what it did for Chris Walker leaving and going to Villanova. So, hey, thumbs up to you, man. Anything I can do, you just let me know.
Oh, I always know. I
Yeah.
always, whenever y'all need me, these are the only things I've ever done. I did one when I went to Kentucky, and I did one here, and this is it. This is what I ever do. And, I'm appreciative of y'all and everything you ever done for me. So I'm always going to give back when I can. And, it's kind of like you said, I will get my little Duke pitch. I do think we are, the best combination of both academics and basketball. And then you add the network on top of it. And there's nothing you can do more in your life than make a decision like that. And kind of like you're saying, from the outside looking in, you kind of look at the brother, you be like, the brotherhood,
Okay.
funny. But then you get in it and you're around it and you've been a part of it and you've seen it up close and up person and you kind of understand, why it is what it is and why, we will keep it to what it has been.
You might have to get your name, your number changed because Doug Jones gonna call the hell out of you about Duke.
That's I already talked to Doug.
I know it. I already know it. He loves Duke.
I told him we got to get him to a game.
Yeah.
So he was one of my first text messages to congratulate me and tell me. So I told him we got to get him to Cameron.
He loves Duke.
He got an open ticket.
I like that. Y'all see?
I want to ask you real quickly, have you got a chance to go and meet the young lady from out of Greater Houston, Ashton Jackson? She's a McDonald's All-American. She's a incoming freshman at Duke. And, she's a freshman now. at Duke. Have you got a chance to meet her? Omar Sneed coached her in grassroots basketball.
Okay. I have not. I have not got a chance to meet her. Our summer schedules are a little bit different where everybody's not on campus at the same time. And as we were leaving campus, they were coming in. But I definitely know who she is and have heard of her, and knew she was there. And I know it's another football player or something from that Beaumont area, that's a freshman too. That's supposed to be pretty good. That's up there as well. So I know it's a few Texas connections and stuff like that. But I'm sure I will run into her in the gym.
Yeah, y'all got something coming, Jay. Y'all got something coming. Both of y'all in McDonald, Alabama.
Yeah.
And guess what? And both of y'all been on the Chop Shop.
Yeah, there you go.
And I'm gonna leave you with a fun memory, and I'm gonna show you this right here that I just went and picked up.
What you got, Jim? Oh, hold up, where Jay at? Scoot the thing over, Jimmy. We can't see it. I see BJ home. Well, I don't see Jay.
Oh yeah.
Go over some. The other way. The other way, Jimmy.
Who that? Jacobin.
I see Jacobin. Man, let me make Jimmy big.
Hold on, let me see.
No, you're messing up. Let me make him big, Jay. You take
because I'm delayed, so I'm trying to.
No, you ain't delayed. It's up on the screen. It just ain't.
There you go.
I still don't see Jay.
What you mean?
I can't see. Hold up.
Yeah, you might need to get your eyes checked.
Hold up. Jimmy, put the thing. Come on. Now you got the whole screen, Jim. Your light in the way. Okay, I got it. Okay.
You see it now?
Yeah, I see him now. All right. We back cool again. I was about to get mad.
Yeah.
I got to see my young fella out there. But no, man, appreciate it though, Doc.
Hey, that's a collector's item. It's signed by every player on there.
Wow.
That issue is signed by every one of them.
That's awesome. Man. Jimmy, get us out of here, man. Let Jay go back to work. Y'all don't have practice today?
Nah, we actually we got a little break. So I'm actually out here on vacation. We just got to the beach.
Oh, so, man, get on out of there and get to the beach,
look
man.
to the background the whole time.
Yeah.
That's why a little bad boy running around there playing hide and go seek and go get him. He tore up everything back there.
He trying to get out to that water, man.
He tore up everything back there, man. Yes, indeed. Hey, man, thanks so much, man. Jay Lucas, man, chopping it up with us on the Chop Shop, man. We appreciate everything. That was a great convo. We don't do interviews. We have convos on the Chop Shop. And guess what, man? Good luck this season. We'll get a chance to see you guys. I'm going to try to get to at least one game this season and check you guys out, at least one and more on. And, man, you just keep on keeping on. Great job as you advance your career through this stuff. People, guess what? You keeping the haters busy as hell, too, boy. You keep them busy.
No,
you keep them in business. They got a reason. You give them a reason to hate. Oh, good Lord.
But I'm going to let you know something else you're doing. You inspiring, too. Forget the haters. You inspiring guys like Jacoby, these young players in this city, man, growing up in this city, and they can say, man, if Jay can do, that's what I want to do. That's what I do. If I don't make it to the league, I try to make it to the league. My life ain't over. I can do something else. I can coach. I can do this. If you doing nothing else, you are a shining example of what a young, what Jimmy said, no, not Jimmy, sub 6 foot guard can go and just be, and have a fulfilling life and enjoy. And you look like you enjoying yourself. I'm watching you as you coaching on the sideline at every place. I had the advantage of being on a home visit, and you walk in the door one time. The only home visit I ever had in life that somebody called me to, and I walk in the door and you there, and I said, "Oh my goodness! Oh, I didn't know I was gonna be in. They put me in the mix." But man, I'm so proud of you, man. I can't wait, and I just can't wait. You're inspiring these young guys because I ain't hearing the haters. I'm hearing the young guys saying they want to be like you.
Well, I appreciate it. And, the biggest thing is that, you can't be afraid to pivot. You can't be afraid to, and you can't be afraid to fail. A lot of people, you try to get in a comfort zone, and then I just didn't want to be boxed in. I don't want to be in a situation where, I was only seen as one thing. And same thing I tell, I want to be And this might come off the wrong way, but I want to be as big as I can in basketball. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? If that's the case of doing whatever it takes to get to that point, and then understanding that you still work. Same thing as playing, and same thing as coaching. People always think a lot of things are going to you until you check the work and until you check what's been done, and then it checks the box. So that's part of it too. But the biggest thing is just you gotta allow, and you gotta realize you always have had people that supported you and helped you. And that's why I always come on this show and we'll talk to y'all, because y'all are two of the people that's always done that for me. So anyway, I can give back to y'all and give back to people who have helped me, I always will.
I got one for you. You become a head coach. You gonna hire John?
Absolutely.
That's my man. That's
Absolutely.
as the associate head coach. I like that. Say no more.
Yeah, absolutely. You gotta have people you
Right.
trust and you know what they know, and I know his pedigree. So there's no question.
You know where he come
may
from.
have to help him a little bit with understanding how to recruit and stuff like that. But when it comes to basketball and getting players better and knowing X's and O's, and it's not even close.
Jimmy.
Well, be sure to tell the staff we say hello.
Yes.
And also
I
reach
will.
out to my girl Rachel. She's over there playing the Tavia role with the program over there with Duke now. She's y'all Tavia.
Yeah.
You got Rachel.
Oh,
Yeah,
Like,
she is. I don't know if she is good as Tarvia, but she.
no, I'm talking about I said she playing the role.
Hey,
She's
Jimmy.
not good at
Jimmy, yeah, stay out of that, Jimmy. That man took up for his sister.
Hey, so I let you know who he gonna be hiring, and as the operations, if you get the job, he gonna reach and hire Tavia. Hey, I got a job for you.
Hey,
Kevin
come on,
Sampson. Kevin Sampson did it.
I was just about to say he
Say
did
no
it the
more.
right way.
Sure did.
And it worked.
You bring them with you. If you
Man,
can,
y'all
you bring them
this
with you.
this the best show ever right today. This the best show.
Hey, man.
Best show
Good
ever.
see you, man. Thanks a bunch, Jay Lucas, guys. Y'all make
No
sure you
problem. I'll
share
see
the
y'all.
show on your way out the door. Once again, share the show on your way out the door. It's time to slide down Dino's back and yabba dabba do this thing on this Tuesday. Groove It Tuesday. Of course, it's raining on that northeast side. Cats and dogs out there. I can tell. That's why I was going on with that. I can tell whenever we get to skip, I get to lagging. That means them clouds ain't acting right over on that northeast side of Houston. But anyway, guys, we'll be right back at you on tomorrow.
You got better when Jay. Look at you now, Jimmy. You got better when Jay went off. Look.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, watch it. Look at you. You done caught up now. That was Jay in that hotel down there was messing us up.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
But anyway, guys, hey, man, it's time to get up out of here. Don't forget, of course, shout out to the Pearland Little League for winning the Southwest region. And they took care of business, and they were advanced to the Little League World Series. Pearland, once again, won their game against Oklahoma today. And, they pretty much, they got them pretty good, Adam. I was watching it.
I saw you up there. I kept saw you look up to the left.
9-4, I think that was the final, and great hitting performance.
I can't let you get. Rod Wells been trying to bust you upside your head the last couple of days with this. You see, he said, Hicks, how's the weather behind the Dodgers?
The Dodgers are in the National League.
He don't
the Astros
care.
is in the American
Dodgers,
League.
Jimmy.
Guess what?
About the leads.
Okay, guess what? The Dodgers, they had a great series this weekend. They swept the Padres.
I didn't like it.
And swept them. And guess what? That was a hell of a statement. I understand Tatis is about 2 weeks, maybe 2 to 3 weeks away from returning. And but they start running commercials with Gatorade with him already. They start running commercials with him. I mean,
he got a Dairy Queen.
They start running, but they know he's coming back. But understand, the Dodgers, once again, they did well this past weekend. They're the hottest team in baseball right now. However, they have to face and host another team that's in first place. It doesn't get any easier. Carlos Carrera and the Minnesota Twins will be in town starting today. And yeah. Okay. Minnesota is going to visit those Dodgers, and we see how that go. See how that goes with you. The Astros will be hosting the Rangers. Hell, you realize the Astros had played after the All-Star break. They played 19 games in 18 days.
Well, they ain't got nothing else to do. They ain't doing
What?
nothing. Standing out in the damn field all damn day and a pitcher pitching, a different pitcher pitching. Baseball is not that strenuous, Jimmy. Y'all set y'all ass down half the game. What is you talking about? Like y'all doing something.
You know what? They say you can't talk basketball to everybody. You damn sure can't talk baseball to
Jimmy,
everybody.
I'm sitting there watching you. You're standing. Hold up. Soto. They finna get Soto $100 billion, and he's standing out there in the field like this.
It's way more than that. That go. That's way more on game day. On game day, it's way more than that. That goes into a baseball game. You better go look it up.
It's way more than go to a basketball game. Have you ever been to it's way more than going to a football game
We're
to
not
prepare
talking
for
about
baseball.
basketball right now. We're not talking about basketball.
But I'm telling you, baseball, they ain't doing nothing.
So the pregame preparation is of similar stature in both sports.
Bad practice.
If you're a bench rider, you riding the bench in both of them. Batting practice ain't easy. It's not easy. That's ongoing torque on your vertebrae, on your spine on a daily basis. Ongoing torque from, let's say, on your golf club. Take your golf and take it to the 10th power of every day.
Jimmy,
think about it.
I'm doing it up. I'm taking it. I'm taking it into the 10th grade.
Remember when Tiger Woods came back from that injury, and people that didn't understand was trying to blast him? Well, man, it ain't but golf.
You blast him.
No, I wasn't blasting because of that. That was easy to understand. People was like, why can't he ride in the golf court? No, that ain't how the game is played.
You're sitting out in the field eating sunflower seeds, man, spitting them out every few minutes and sitting in the dugout. Now, Jimmy, y'all ain't doing you. I don't care what you say. Don't you talk baseball to me. You don't know nothing about no baseball.
If basketball players would play, if it was played outdoors and you could spit them things on the grass, those basketball players would eat the same sunflower seeds but they chew gum, just like baseball players chew gum. And a lot of them used to dip in baseball, you dip snuff back in the day. It's not as much as that as you see on the tobacco stuff. That used to be the old school way. They get a plug, throw it in the bottom, and I actually had tried that. And then I was playing the outfield, and the line drive got hit to me one time, and my initial reaction, I swallowed that juice. Never even dipped and did a plug ever again in my life.
I got a new name for you, Torque and Mr. Torque and Vertebrae. Oh, I can't wait till Bo Porter come on here. I can't wait. What minute? She ain't said nothing. That man said that torque. You had her. Can you imagine the torque and that goes on your vertebrae when you taking BP from a dude throwing the ball 70 miles, 60 miles an hour? Come on, Jimmy.
Boy, you really don't get it. It's more than BP. It's also fielding balls. You shagging balls. You're running that dude. That baseball. Understand something. Baseball players play more games than any other professional sport in America. More regular season games. That's more travel.
They need to because they ain't doing nothing. That's the point I'm trying to make. The Astros, they play 18 games in 19 days.
19 games in 18 days.
Good for them.
Dude.
They had a doubleheader one day then, huh?
Yeah, remember the Yankees with the doubleheader was right the first game out that Thursday after the All-Star break. All-Star game was on a Tuesday.
I got a question.
Everybody else got a weekend break. Got a break all the way to the weekend. Not the Astros.
I got a question.
They got to go play the Yankees twice. Then Seattle right after that. We swept all of their ass and then kept on looking. But then guess what?
No. Angel got me wrong. I didn't say it was easy. I can't hit no fastball, that 100 miles. I ain't say it was easy. I know they got to be skilled, but Jimmy had like 18 games and 19 day games and 18 days. Like they done went out there and hit up a side. I mean, they ain't doing nothing.
Yeah, they are doing something. Yes, they are. Baseball.
Like the dude from the Yankees. He done hurt. one of the Yankees' best players. He hit his own damn self in the foot with the damn ball.
So it's like saying the safety on the football field don't do nothing, huh?
Yes, he do. He hit
Well, the outfielder
somebody every play.
Hell, they have plays that you run that you're in certain formations. You're running on every hit ball. I don't think you understand.
Jimmy, I've been on the field. It ain't that big.
Hell, if a ball is hit to the third base, the right fielder still has to run his ass behind that first baseman in case of a pass ball. That's a sprint. Then you got to sprint your ass back. Then you got to get in position, look in the dugout. They're telling you, they're giving you signals to where you need to go over left, go over right, because this batter right here, based on the analytics.
Y'all listen to him. Hey, y'all listen. Steph Curry had to run 3 miles a game. And this man talking about going from...
Dude,
I ain't saying base. Listen, it's a very skilled game that I can't play. But right now, if my partner said, man, let's go play some baseball right now, I can take my old ass out there and get in the field, get on first base. I can play, right? I can get up and hit me a bat. I ain't going to play no damn basketball game.
I can tell you this. If your partner tell you, let's go play basketball 3 days in a row,
I ain't going.
You probably you would have a better chance of playing 3 games of basketball in a row than you would going and play 3 games of basketball.
Jimmy, I can't run up down the basketball court 2 times.
To ache.
But baseball, Scott, wow, Jimmy, I can still scoop that thing, Jimmy. I can scoop it. And throw that thing now. Don't get it twisted.
We're not talking about softball. We're talking about baseball. 2 different sports.
But hold up.
2 different sports. Softball and baseball, 2 different sports.
I like softball right now.
Yeah, I understand it. And that's what you're thinking about. You're thinking about the guy that just sit out there. We're talking about baseball. When your ass got to run whatever position
Corey
that you on that field.
Let me explain to y'all. I saw Juan Soto out in the field last night, setting his ass out there and couldn't do nothing to affect the game. And they finna get his $700 million. Corey, you telling me to stop it? You stop it. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. I'm sitting there. Hold up. I'm sitting there watching a guy that they finna play $700 million to play baseball, sitting out there, could not control the game at all. Bellinger knocking him past him. No, he could. What could he do? But Jimmy, that's why I'm talking about baseball. It's just a different game.
Different game. Listen, man. Listen.
Different game.
Everybody that is watching understand. That's why they find the humorous is really ticklish to them.
Because ain't nobody never explaining the game the way I'm explaining it to them.
The cameras don't.
Hey, Jimmy, some of these people on here ain't that damn right now.
Once again, the cameras that you're watching on television is not showing you those guys running the backup routes on the hit balls. They're not showing you that. I'm telling you.
This man said they controlling the game. They not hitting it his way. They don't supposed to hit it his way. They supposed to hit it where he ain't. Corey?
Well, that's what they kind of meant, hit his way. Meaning
no. Did you see what that? Read that. You read it.
What you in baseball terminology, you know it means hitting his way, mean hit it to his side of the field. Where they
All I'm saying is a guy that valuable can sit over here and do nothing.
No, that's more than nothing, man. You got to have some. You.
Okay, well, we can end because I'm not gonna never. Hey, I got common sense.
Here's what y'all do. Y'all bookmark this conversation. And just yesterday, I was talking to Dr. Green from the PSAT, and we were just talking. And Bo Porter is going to join the Chop Shop really soon. He's got to pin the date. And y'all remember this conversation, and just remember this conversation, guys, and watch. Let's see the energy of how to when he.
I'm gonna tell Bo ass up.
About all those guys do is just stand around. They don't do nothing, and that's just the funny.
Whoa! I said you complaining about 19 games in 18 days.
Dude, that's a
And-
whole lot. That's a lot.
Well, why you play so many damn games a season?
Dude, they doubling up on schedule when you have canceled games. Those games with the Yankees they were canceled because of COVID. You remember the season was pushed back in the collective bargaining. They pushed the season back a whole month.
Jimmy, they still play 160 games though.
So the games that was missed, everybody had to insert games in the schedule to those makeup games. They still gonna play 162 games. They had to, so it's not this, but this was the Astros thing was coming out of the All-Star break, right? They had to start on that Thursday as opposed to that Saturday. So that means whoever played in the game, now you see why certain players, 2 or 3 of them, said we're not going to. Now Verlander, he didn't play. Guys like
the All-Star game.
Altuve didn't even go.
Right.
He said, I'm gonna rest. Because he's an everyday position player.
Okay.
As opposed to Verlander, he's pitching once every 4 or 5 starts. That's a big difference. Big difference.
Jimmy, you still ain't explained your case. And you depending on these people over here to help you. They definitely ain't help you. So do me a favor. You did right. You said, I'm going to bring Bo Porter. Because maybe Bo Porter can explain it. Because Jimmy can't explain it. And these guys on the feed definitely can't explain it. So guess what? I'm still going to say, and I'm going to watch another game tonight. And Jimmy said, Father, they running over there. I can't wait.
The cameras, just like the camera when you watch a ground ball go to the shortstop, that camera is showing you that angle. Unless you're absolutely paying attention, you're not even noticing that back catcher has to run his ass down that first baseline. Every single ground ball that goes down one side of it, he has to run down that baseline.
Okay.
So a guy like Maldonado, who's recognized as one of the best defensive back catchers in baseball right now, and you can see how he move around, dude. That's a lot.
Hey, he got a backup? Didn't y'all just get a backup from somebody?
We just got him now. We just got him last week. But I'm saying, so you saying that? Well, that ain't nothing, dude. That's a lot of wear and tear.
I said, what? Why are you complaining about 19 games? Because baseball don't. Jimmy, I don't care what you say. Anytime you can go out there and play a doubleheader in anything, you ain't playing no doubleheader damn basketball game. This is what I'm trying to explain to you people who don't understand what I'm talking about, Corey. You ain't gonna play no doubleheader basketball game. You ain't finna play no doubleheader football game. Baseball is much less problems on your body. That's why they can go and play doubleheader. They can play a damn triple header if they want to.
Man,
that's the point I'm trying to make. It's called common sense. Yabba dabba do that thing. Yeah, because I got to get out of here.
Well, you can't talk baseball. Can't talk baseball here, man.
I'm finna go watch baseball game right now.
We up out here,
y'all.
Peace. Chop shop.
Jim Hicks. Rob Hatter. You are now tuned in to the Chop Shop. I'm Retro. Let's get it. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop.